Well, it's a joy to see the sun shining and a big crowd filing into the Adelaide Oval for this round one clash between the Crows and the Cats. And Jason Dunstall and Nick Revod alongside me this afternoon. Two sides that are really in polar opposite positions. But the Cats, they're going for it yet again, despite being runners-up last year.
Oh, you're right, Hutto. Good to see you, Jace. That is why you would love to be a Geelong supporter, because their chips are all in.
Yep.
They were as close as you can possibly get last year. They've been around for a long time, the Cats. It's been remarkable how up they've been able to stay, and it's because of these decisions, Jason.
Yeah, what they've done is they've basically cherry-picked the other lists around the competition, and over the last 5 or 6 years, we're talking 8 or 9 top 30 picks where they've designated players to fill holes on their list. So if I'm Chris Scott and I'm coaching Geelong, I'm feeling pretty comfortable that I've got some weaponry at my disposal.
Jeremy Cameron, the big one there, that's as hefty a price as they've had to pay. So you've got to give up something to get something, but they've just shown, Geelong and Chris Scott, that it is possible to stay up for a long period of time if you make smart decisions, which they've done.
In contrast, I guess, the Adelaide Crows, they too went to a grand final in 2017. It seems a long time ago. It's been a huge overhaul since, hasn't it?
It is. It's an incredible list transformation when you think about it, in the space of 4 years, to go from the oldest list in the competition to the youngest. And they were decisions that just needed to be made. They had some terrific servants, but they'd got the most out of them. They weren't going anywhere. They had to start again. They've done that. And now we just have to sit back and look at what the quality of these youngsters is like, Rui.
That necessary decisions, as you say, but still brave ones, because when you are as close as they were in 2017, sometimes the temptation can be to hang around and not quite cut as hard, but they've done that. And you get the sense that Matthew Nicks now finally has some clear air. This football club has some clear air to go about rebuilding, growing the careers of some of these great young players that they've been able to acquire over the last few years.
There was some encouraging signs in the back end of last year, wasn't it? They got a 3-game winning streak going. In fact, they actually competed pretty well when they played against the Cats, even though they didn't win. It was a little bit of a turning point for them. So the question is, even though they've probably got younger again and they're missing experience with Brad Crouch going to St Kilda and Matt Crouch not playing today, and obviously no Daniel Talia either, is can they build from that?
Well, it's going to make life tough, but what they did do in the last 6 weeks of 2020 was show that they can play contested footy. And the one thing you can do, even if you're not matched up with talent, you can show effort. So effort at the contest, pressure when you haven't got the footy, tackling when the other team's got possession. These are things that should be non-negotiable regardless of where you sit on the ladder. And a young team like that should have the enthusiasm to take it up to the Cats, certainly in contested possession efforts.
See Taylor Walker there. He and Rory Sloane both came out with their kids. They didn't get the opportunity to do that to celebrate their 200th last year, but they'll still have big roles to play with so many young players. Sam Berry and Jimmy Rowe both making their debuts today, so that's exciting for them.
Saw a little bit of Jimmy Rowe in the AAMI Community Series. He's that player on screen right there, number 31. Terrific forward. He's just got good footy smarts about him. He reads the play well. He's had a couple of great years in the SANFL. He's a proven goal kicker and something that they desperately need.
Yeah, a lot of youth out there for Adelaide today. 9 players with less than 10 games experience for the Crows, and 0 in contrast.
That's a big ask.
They are a seasoned, hardened unit, the Cats.
Joel, this is Carrie. Good to see you, mate. And you'll know Rory.
Looking ready to go.
Hey, mate, how are we? We good? Away sides, you get the call, Joel? Yes, mate. Heads is the call whenever you're ready, Carrie. Heads is the call. It's a head. Yeah, I think we're going down. Okay, well done, guys. Have a good day. Thanks, Carrie.
All right, so the Cats to the right of screen when we get underway. And there's the man filling the screen, the Adelaide legend, Mark Ricciuto. Hello,
G'day. G'day, boys. It's pretty hot down here, 30 degrees and a northerly blowing from the hill to the riverbank stand. And up to 40,000 people here at Adelaide Oval, which is fantastic compared to last year when we did this game and we had no one here. Geelong, we know what they're going to get. Adelaide, will we get what they got at the end of the season when they became quite competitive? They did that at the back off of the midfield. They were second in the comp for clearances and contested possessions, and that's what they'll need to do today if they're going to compete with these Cats.
Thank you, Russo. No Jeremy Cameron, as we said, which is a little bit of a disappointment for everybody to see how he and Tom Hawkins might work together. But what a challenge for Jordan Butts, who's likely to be the opponent on Tom Hawkins, the Coleman medalist.
It's a fantastic challenge for him, and he should be excited by it, but it's a tall order. And at the other end, you'll have Tex Walker hoping to hit the scoreboard and make something out of the inside 50s for the Crows, Isaac Smith, the
How
former
are you
Hawk.
coping with that side? Jason's a great Hawthorn man.
It doesn't feel great, Hutto. I don't like the hoops on him, but he'll be excited too. He's going to give them some outside.
You've had to get used to it with ex-Hawthorn players. I mean, Hodge did it, Mitchell did it, Lewis did it. It's good enough for them. It's good enough for Isaac Smith.
Yeah, pull your head in. Here we go.
Paddy Dangerfield, of course, we saw flash through the screen. He started his career with the Crows. But there's Tom Hawkins. A shake of hands with Jordan Butts and ready to go. So Danger playing out of the square with no Jeremy Cameron. That is interesting. I wonder what percentage he's going to spend forward and in the midfield during 2021. So we're set to go. Round one. Sun is shining. It's a hot day. Reece Stanley passed his fitness test and he taps the Cats down up against O'Brien. It's going to be pivotal. Sloane's kick forward. And so Atkins takes the mark. Tom Atkins, his new role is across half back for the Cats. Brodie Smith backing himself in, does well, cuts across and gets it over the line.
He's a super player, Brodie Smith. He'll need to lead from the front. I've got to tell you, if I'm Tom Hawkins, I'm a little disappointed that Danger's playing next to me. I've got a kid that's played 2 games lining up against me. I want the area. I want the ball because I think I can have an impact.
Yeah, I'd love to tap into your full forward mentality, Jason, about that in a moment, but Sloane's able to work it back. And so the Crows are going to get a look at it here. A wobbly old one from Scholl. He is one of the youngsters who's impressive. Beautiful kick of the football. We'll see more of Lachie Scholl.
He is. You're just talking about that mindset. So I love the sportsmanship. Tom Hawkins with Jordan Butts shakes his hand, give him a little pat, says good luck, mate. But as soon as the game starts, he's there to teach him a lesson. He's there to destroy him.
Murphy was on the move, but Smith gets the kick into the 50. Equal numbers there. Blitzarves, of course, back as the prime defender for the Cats, and he's working overtime. Good energy from the Crows. Good numbers around the ball.
So Matthew Nick sitting in the coach's box right now. He sees that. He sees a gang tackle inside 50.
Yep.
Right, OK, that's a great start. We're on in terms of our effort, our application and our desire to compete.
And it was Rowe, McAdam and Murphy. So all the little guys in there to provide that pressure. They're able to do so. In the end, it's escorted safely through for the Cats.
The other thing I liked was the contest in the air from Tex Walker. We saw it a little bit in the pre-season, in the practice games. He looks to be feeling pretty free in his body. He's jumping and attacking the packs, and that's a good sign.
What a year for Cam Guthrie last year. Best and fairest and All-Australian for the Cats. Kolodjasny on the way out. Clark just realising at the last moment that was too strong. And Tom Doedee, who was able to get to the line, an important player for the Crows, both in given how under strength they are in defence, but also in the leadership he provides.
Amazing to think he's only played the 30 games.
I know.
Tom Doedee. You think of him as a 100-game veteran almost, such as the cool head and leadership that he displays on the ground.
Very, very highly rated.
Murphy terrific to Scholl. So this is an excellent start by Adelaide. McAdam tried to work his way to the front. Here's Jordan Clark. And he seemed to have things under control. He finds Tom Stewart. What a player he's been for Geelong in defence. Not the best of kicks, though. Smith read it. Maybe the Sun factor. Selwood didn't get out. There is Isaac Smith for the Cats. Menegola, another one who was outstanding last year. Perhaps a bit fortunate there not to be penalised. The top ball, and Adelaide might get a free as well.
It's been a good start, hasn't it? This has been a great start. The problem is they're up against one of the best defences in the competition. So maximising the inside 50s is difficult.
Well, they played quality in the pre-season twice, didn't they? They're up against Port Adelaide, another one of the premiership fancies for this year. Probably didn't do much for their confidence, to be fair. They got smashed.
Hey, they've gone shorter in the forward line, the Crows, Jace. I know you'd be happy with that. Only Frampton and Walker and McAdam. So this is the smallest forward line I've seen for probably 5 years at Adelaide. At the other end, Jenkins is playing forward. He's rotating with Reece Stanley to be alongside Hawkins.
Beautifully read by Taylor Walker. Just the start.
Well, he said he was up and about. Yeah, it's absolutely the way he launched at that football. This is a high-degree difficulty snap on the left foot, non-preferred. Quite often from that distance, when you're going across the body, it's really easy to hit them a little bit skinny, and you just can't get that level of purchase. But to snap the footy opposite side from 50, such a skillful player.
It's an outstanding effort from Taylor Walker. He just out-bodied Josh Jenkins in the ruck. He would have got a little bit of pleasure out of that too, and then off one step snaps the goal. You can see he was Pretty slim pickings last year as far as the goal kickers go in 2020.
Not too many leading goal kickers would have won the club best goal kicker with 15 over the journey. It was a shortened season, obviously, but 15 goals, 9 he kicked, and he's kicked the first for Adelaide, who've made just the start thereafter. Geelong are going to get a chance to go forward here off the boot of Joel Selwood, or maybe the hand, depending on what he chooses.
You can see Rory Laird there. He moved into the midfield middle of last year and had an outstanding season there.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play there from here on in, and they need that sort of addition to their midfield. Man in front? No.
No. Well, he did get his hands on it first. I think you had to pay that.
I need to pay. Just stand, please.
Yeah, he had first purchase, looked to control it, and then...
Well, that's what you could hear Ray Chamberlain say. He had all of the ball. He does. He's got 2 hands wrapped around it, as opposed to a finger from Riley O'Brien.
Just the one game in 2020, which was against the Bombers in their massive win in round 16. Had some back problems. Only played 11 games in 2019, his last year for the Crows. But in his last 5 games, he actually booted 4 goals 3 times for Adelaide. He knows this ground so well. He hasn't had a great start really at either end of the ground after conceding a goal. But at least he took the mark.
Good contested mark. Plenty of boos as he was lining it up, and then cheers when he missed. So, you know, he'll have mixed emotions coming back to the Adelaide Oval. Keen to do well.
Cats a goal. The Crows a goal and a point. The Cats just that one behind. As Brodie Smith goes in an aggressive manner straight down the middle. Stanley battering it away. Selwood's been front and centre so far. More of the same from Sloane. Lynch, who had to fight his way into this team after being overlooked in the AAMI community game. And young Sam Berry wins the free kick for the throw against the Cats. Playing it out wide to Scholl again. And a well-placed ball for Ben Keys, who's upgraded his number from 28 to 2 in his second season. Into the pocket, Frampton from behind. Blitzar's wore one there.
Good contest, Billy Frampton. That's what he's got to do if the ruckman drops back, or if there's a tall in front of him. Run through him as you spoil the ball. Make it a fierce contest.
Being dominated. The Cats around the clearances, as you can see, 6-1. And Walker, he had a brief opportunity to do more of the same. Sean Higgins. A couple of nice, clean touches for him. Outstanding composure. Didn't rush it. Wasn't the best of handballs, though. Made it difficult for Henderson. And then O'Connor, they don't tidy up. Lynch creative. Opportunity for Berry, which he misses.
Well, you'd suspect they're going to have to capitalise on as many of those type opportunities as possible, Adelaide, to hang with the Cats. Albeit a great start, intensity-wise, from the Crows.
Well, if they thought they were going to have a pretty easy start to the season here today, they better think again, Geelong.
You can see danger at the top of screen there. He's just held his position really deep.
Yeah, they didn't see him, I don't think.
No one's looking. I mean, if Stanley turned around, he could have kicked it to him straight away.
Instead, he had to wait. He does go there in the end. He used his body. He's just going to let it go on. And all the way through for a goal. It was all a bit strange.
You picked it up early, Rube. Danger was down there on his own for an eternity. And no one was looking downfield, which was the funny thing. In the end, Stanley just thought, well, there's a one-on-one with Dangerfield against his opponent in the goal square, so I'll go there quickly. Danger shepherded the ball, and then he got the true bounce. He was screaming for it to come down.
So that's Andrew McPherson, who had the tough job back there.
It's almost an unintended goal, really, from Stanley in the end. He was definitely going to Dangerfield. It's such a strange sight now in the modern game to see a player hold their position as Dangerfield did so deep in the forward line. We've seen it with Dusty Martin in that striker role. And
I also think, Roy, with that man on the mark rule and the ball being able to move a lot quicker, you're going to see better structure ahead of the footy.
Good timing from Stanley. He knew he could have a second crack at it. Keys put an end to it very quickly. Good body work from Hamill. Another player they really like as far as the future goes. He's tough, Will Hamill. Played 8 games last year. Had some concussion issues, but had a strong pre-season.
Pull out, pull out.
Zach Guthrie preferred to Jack Henry for the Cats, which is interesting. Doedee flicked it to the outside, and Scholes, the recipient in the end, through Keys' hands and up towards Frampton again. Henderson, Walker, Kolodjasny need to tackle it, but the hands, as you saw, were clear. Not to Adelaide's benefit. O'Connor. Searching kick to the wing. Selwood versus Doedee. Unlikely style matchup. Had his injury issues last year, Joel Selwood, but was one of their best in the grand final. 21 disposals.
Long way back.
6 times he's been in the top 3 in the Geelong best and fairest. 6 times in All-Australian. And skipper for almost a decade.
Holding. Geelong. Advantage.
Delayed advantage. Atkins gets to take the choice kick into the 50. Hawkins play on the call. He'll be happy with that, Butts. Doedee got the handball away, but the danger is still there.
We got a quick look at the value of Shaun Higgins there. Kicking the ball inside 50. That was a beautiful kick that drew Tom in. He'd expect to swallow those, Tommy. A bit of early season rust for him.
This time the free goes the other way.
But Ablett goes out for the Cats, who provided obviously great value in that role, that small forward role last year. Shaun Higgins, from a skill point of view, just about one of the best going around.
Gee, Brodie Smith on the bench. We hope there's nothing wrong with him.
He's just getting his foot checked. Laird, as they advance to the wing. Good looking kick, and Walker happy to accept the pass. Just out of his range. Delicate little kick to Tom Lynch, who takes the mark.
The leaders have started really well for Adelaide. I think that's a really important factor for them coming into the game. They would have known we've got a lot of young kids here. We've got to show the way. So Sloane's got his hands dirty. We've seen Brodie Smith, Taylor Walker, and this man, Tom Lynch, the experienced players getting involved.
It was something Matthew Nicks talked about leading into this game. They still had to have enough experienced players who are going to have to lead the way. A kick from here. Wouldn't that lift them? Oh. Tom Lynch from long range gives the Crows their 2nd goal.
It's a great start for the Crows. The one thing you want to do as a young team that's not expected to figure in the overall season come the business end is get the crowd involved early. They've got a good crowd here at the Adelaide Oval. They're all desperate to watch some footy, and you just want to give them something to cheer about. Get your own tail up by having the crowd on your side, make the opposition feel a little uncomfortable, and they're doing it particularly well. That's a great set shot.
They're going to rely really heavily all year, aren't they, Adelaide, on their leaders to play well, to guide, to direct, to instruct, to encourage, but most of all go out and perform. And it was Laird to Walker to Lynch.
At his best, 42 goals back in 2016. Twice an All-Australian nominee, Tom Lynch. And they're winning at the contest.
Patrick Dangerfield. Holding.
So danger into the middle. And straight away, he's going to take advantage of that rule. It was a low, dangerous kick, but well anticipated by Butts. Hawkins couldn't absolutely lay the tackle, but he kept it going. Dalhouse scrambles a kick forward, and it wasn't far off the mark.
Like that from Jordan Butts, taking front position. He was first to read the bounce of the ball. Take that front position away from Tom Hawkins. Give yourself an opportunity to attack the football.
Just playing his 3rd game, Jordan Butts. 198-centimetre key defender.
Brodie Smith looks like coming on too, boys, so the foot must be okay.
Good.
Kelly tried to aim up O'Brien. Blitzar's almost had enough of it, but not enough. As it turned out, the Crows are able to get forward, and Frampton's got it. Seedsman's kick was long, and he read the drop of the ball beautifully. Does he think he can go the journey?
Well, he needs to take his time here. Don't worry about all the traffic around him.
Saw the value there again of actually just holding a forward deep. How often do we see teams win that contest from the long kick out, win the ball, and then they've got nothing to kick to?
It's exciting, and we're seeing more of it, and more of it. It's great.
Is that because they're worried about the rotations and the length of the game, boys?
Oh, it's a good kick early. So important to take your chances, and that's what the Crows are doing.
Well, it's an interesting point that Mark Prosciutto makes. I think there's a lot of contributing factors. A, you can move the ball quicker. And if you're going to play on and move the ball quick, you've got to have structure and options ahead of the ball. But also, if there are less rotations and players are going to get fatigued, you want some players not running up and down the ground all day so they can spend, if not all of the game, most of the game out on the ground. So it's a twofold thing. It's a good mark in the end, but a great finish.
5 games last year in his first season with the Crows after coming across from Port Adelaide. It's been a bit of a fight between he and Elliot Himmelberg for that second key forward spot.
You question whether he had the distance, Hutto. That's gone 5 metres over the fence.
I question that on the basis that he didn't look that confident. But this is a fine start for the Crows. The Cats looking to get a little more snappy out of the middle. Parfitt's kick, though, was chopped off, so the Crows once again on top of their game, coming out of defence and scooped up by Rowe. Maybe a step too many. No whistle. Play on the call. Murphy gets himself dangerous. Frampton again. Double grab. He gets a third opportunity to go after it. Berry gets taken down in the Jordan Clark tackle. And we're going to have a ball up. Jenkins doing the ruck work. Higgins flashing through. Atkins. He really set Parfitt up. The Cats are a little fortunate there.
Happy to wear those if you're Adelaide as a coach, because the intention is so strong to get over to pressure.
Stand, Brody, stand.
Free kicks obviously give you a chance to set up behind the ball as well.
Good kick. Stand.
Higgins starting to get busy, takes the mark. His 5th disposal coming up.
I think this is where we can start to get a bit of a look at Geelong. We know they like to play that control game at times last year, so we'll get an indication early as to whether they've made any adjustments in the off-season.
Well, you would think, given the way teams are using that new man on the mark rule and basically playing a quicker brand of football, you would think Geelong would do some of the same. But as you say, they don't play on a lot. They play a very measured brand of football. They need to make some adjustments, I think, to take advantage of it.
Jenkins comes up to do the ruck work, and he guided it well for Guthrie. A little heavy for Dangerfield. He kept it in, or did he?
At the same time, it is hard to go away from something that has been so successful for you. And I know football's so binary in terms of you either win the grand final or you don't, but they've been right there, Geelong, playing the way they play.
But look at the players they've got in their front 6 if you could get quicker ball down there.
Myers to the outside. Dangerfield against his old mate Rory Sloane. Crows well positioned again. Gary Rowan getting dangerous. Dalhouse, his 2nd snap. Jordan Clark is deep and almost acted like a defender there as it's forced through for a behind.
Stay out, Tom. Thank you.
11-point margin now to the Adelaide Crows. Brodie Smith spotted a man. Berry just a little too strong for him. He had good backup in Sloane. Laird under the pump immediately from Parfitt. And they almost turn it over. It's still a delicate position. Frampton. Berry's tumbling tackle was excellent. And they force the ball up. Sam Berry picked 28 from Gippsland Power. Once laid 18 tackles in one of the NAB League games. That gives you an idea of the sort of player he is. Jenkins careful not to give away the free kick.
Pick 28 you're talking about, Hutto's the Brad Crouch compensation pick. So Brad Crouch for Sam Berry effectively.
Yeah, I told one of your long-serving recruiters there, Roo, had his eye on Berry for a number of years and just couldn't wait to make sure they got hold of him. McAdam. Gee, it has to be a precision kick. And the Cats defence all over Taylor Walker and Henderson.
It's off a boot.
It's a long kick. It's out of the full. Got to go across the line. Out 5 metres. Come. To me, Tex.
Not met with a great response from the crowd in Adelaide, it's fair to say. But you can see why the free kick goes the way of Geelong. And Henderson with a couple of extra metres on offer, which he gleefully takes. And his kick really put Josh Jenkins at a disadvantage.
That was interesting watching Taylor Walker then on the mark. So he took that position 5 metres in. And clever from Henderson just to take off straight up the boundary line.
Holding, Walker, go through. Hands on hips.
He's in the game early, isn't he, Tex?
Yeah, he's moving. This is as well as I've seen him move in a number of years, Taylor. And he's putting himself at the drop of the ball too, in those really contested situations, which for a long period that was the criticism, wasn't it? The ability to launch, to compete in the air.
He's over 200 game player now, 441 goals. As we said, 15 last year. But that's the view. He's in as good a nick as he has been for a number of years. And he's always been a magnificent kick, just slightly to the left as he covered the goals from long range.
Not sure he needs to kick around the corner like that, because he can kick 55 very easily.
A lot of players are doing that, Jace, aren't they? Just for... You only should be doing that when you're looking for extra 2 or 3 metres.
Correct.
Cats taking the extremities of hugging the boundary there.
That was out.
Myers keeps it in. Henderson finds himself adrift on the wing. Leads a mate at Selwood. They're all coming at him, but he was even more ambitious. Tries to spot Menegola. Seaman with the job, and he has the pace advantage. And gets it over the line and out of bounds.
See, that would have hurt if they hadn't got a goal out of that. That looked like it was well over the boundary line. To see him taking off out to the right. He's kicked it from 48.
Well, he can kick 50, 1 or 2 cuts.
He can chip it from 50 very easily.
I know Hawkins is a very handy ruckman close to goal, but O'Brien was having none of that. Menegola. Guthrie. Cats would love one here. It wasn't the right kind of angle off the boot, and they'll be happy to get a throw in.
It's getting very blustery down here, boys, so just excuse a couple of these skill errors at the moment. It is circling around. There was a northerly breeze at the start, so blowing towards the end that Geelong is kicking, but it's chopping and changing a bit.
Thank you, Roo. 12-point advantage for Adelaide.
Even the boundary umpire can't do it.
O'Brien got the handball away, but Selwood again. Guthrie playing in front. That's Zach Guthrie. Got disposed of. Almost to Geelong holding the ball, but he just got boot to ball, and the Crows can chain up the handballs, although the pressure from Geelong was good. Sloan a rush ball. Geelong have got it covered. Free kick against McAdam. Goes the way of Mark Blitzarves. 180th game today. Stanley. Here's Geelong into their slow mode.
And they do have 2 distinct modes, Geelong.
Kolodjasny. Hawkins holds his ground. He's got plenty to deal with. Butts got the fist. He's made an excellent start, Jordan Butts, in all sorts of trouble there. Dubious disposal. Back to the middle, though, for Stewart. And this is what Geelong, when they're at their best, do. They make it almost impassable on the way out. Blitzarves to Selwood. Connor to the right. Instead, it's a more direct approach. Rowan trying to use his body. Butts had an opportunity to take the mark. Isaac Smith came through, but without ball in hand. And Harry Taylor's old number 7. Crows happy to keep it close to the line. Keys, though, gets them almost to the wing. Face the same sort of wall. Stewart. Oh, Sloan was magnificent with his pressure. Blitzarves took every second on offer. Kolodjasny, the pressure's going up and up and up. Look at that. 3 Crows piling on top of the 1 Geelong player.
Listen to the crowd getting involved. They are riding every bit of this. Look at the pressure gauge from an Adelaide Crows perspective. Matthew Nicks couldn't ask for anything else.
Stanley, Parfitt, pokey left foot kick, and you can hear from the action straight away from the crowd.
That's referred pressure, Hutto. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, Parfitt. He doesn't make those sort of errors, but you can feel it build out there as a player. When it's so hot, you know that when you get the footy, you're going to be under pressure. Force those errors.
For McPherson on the way out. Clark, little unsure again. You've got no time to move. You're in the hoops at the moment.
22-15, the tackles too, boys. It's been a long time since the Crows have been winning tackle counts, so it's only early, but 24-15.
Sloan makes it a hand pass. Whether that was the right decision, it's okay now. Seaman to Laird, and they advance again. O'Brien made his presence felt. Walker, they left him alone, and he's missed. Oh. Suddenly they just evaporated around him. Oh. He's looked very dangerous. 6 disposals and 1 goal too. Joel Selwood kicking in for the Cats. Jed Bewes, who's now part of the furniture, top 10 finish in the best and fairest last year. Well-directed kick for Blicavs, and they can keep. This is what Isaac Smith is there for. Run, run, run. Carry, handball, link up with his teammates. Myers, he hesitated. He didn't like what was on the horizon for him at all. Crows defenders all in front of their men. And so there was no access obvious for the Cats forwards. Not having things their own way. Blicavs. Atkins being tested in his new role across half-back. Finds Isaac Smith. Triple premiership play with the Hawks. Menegola stood and delivered the handball, and Henderson will try his luck. A deep kick again.
He is getting in some great positions, Jordan Bucks, in those one-on-ones against Tom Hawkins.
And
he's got himself into trouble there. Uses Brown to get out. It just gets a bit sloppy away from Smith.
And he's taken front spot a few times, which is that is a dangerous prospect against Tom Hawkins. We know how good he is at being able to work his opponent under the football. So credit the young man for taking an assertive position.
Backing his size and strength and doing very well.
Holding, free kick, Adelaide, advantage.
Gee, the umpies are blowing the whistle early, boys.
Sloan kicks to the wing, as we often see. Both ruckmen were there to claim the free kick. Got to win Adelaide's way.
Reece Riley on the wing, mate. Reece Riley about here.
McAdam shows he's got some terrific natural ability. We know he's a mature ager. He was a dominant player in the SANFL, a beautiful mark. Still adding elements to his game. Keys wouldn't be bullied by Dangerfield. Parfitt, his eyes backwards to try and search and find a teammate. He settled on Menegola.
Stand! Stand!
Which wasn't a bad result in the end. Sam Menegola back through the middle, channeling the ball for Isaac Smith. Starting to become a usable option for the Cats on the way forward. But where to next? It's a bit of a scrambly old kick. It fell well for Myers. Had to fight hard for a second look. Selwood hesitated and... interesting call. There he is. Fell out in the tackle. Anyway, it was deserved because Luke Brown was there to put the pressure on. What a dependable player he's been. You know what you get from Luke Brown. Scholl. Rangy half-back, can kick almost as well on his left as his right.
Thank you.
And we see that there. They're outnumbered here, the Crows. And Connor wasn't quite sure what was around him. He gets free rein here. He's got some pace. He backs himself in. Atkins was cornered momentarily. Clark, and they've worked their way through Jenkins. Clear option for Gary Rowan. There's a loose man at the top of the square. In fact, there's loose men everywhere, is the old saying. And Parfitt takes the mark and thought about it.
He did. They need this just to settle the Cats at the moment. What we're seeing from the Adelaide Crows in this first quarter is the benefit of effort. So we spoke about being not necessarily as talented, but the one thing you cannot be second in is the amount of effort that you're putting in.
Tom Hawkins has not had a touch yet, not had a possession. Brandon Parfitt kicked 5 goals too last year in 18 games. He kicks truly and surely there for the Cats.
So it's a much-needed goal for the Cats, and they did it well. They just they didn't panic. Gary Rowan made a really good choice once he got the ball inside 50. There was a short kick to Myers, which he ignored because he had 2 in better positions deeper in the corridor. But the question from an Adelaide perspective will be how long can they keep this level of effort and pressure up?
And a hot afternoon into the early evening. It's got to test both teams, isn't it, these conditions?
It's always the worry with Geelong, isn't it, with the level of skill that they have across every line and the way they control the football. When you turn it over, if you can't exert that level of pressure that Adelaide have been so good at doing on them, you're able to take the footy from one end to the other as well as anyone.
Adelaide decided to switch them, boys. You saw the kick from Brown to Scholl. Scholl looked up. There's 4 Geelong players and Tex Walker. So a bad switch there by the Crows, and Cats made them pay.
Higgins out of the middle. Moving from North Melbourne, where he was out on the wing and flank, so he's back in the midfield and helping the Cats so far. Bewes from Dangerfield, and he's beaten him again. It wasn't great surface, it has to be said, but Butts has taken the mark again, and Hawkins still hasn't had a look in.
He's looking like a veteran at the moment. He's in his third game.
Dangerfield. Eyes off a long, deep kick to the square. Oh, McPherson with a ride, but couldn't get over the top of Jenkins. He's paid the mark to McPherson.
Wow, I thought that was a man in front job. I was about to be critical of McPherson for not punching.
Not spoiling, yes.
We'll have a look at the box as the Crows make their way out of defence.
Oh, that's man in front all
the other
day.
angle. Yeah.
Great job. Coming in here.
So does Jenkins get his hands on the ball? Oh, he does. Yeah. I think that's the one you have to pay the man in front.
Holding, Adelaide.
Exciting, though, for McPherson to back himself and try and jump over the pack.
Schonberg takes the free hand pass. And they're on the move again. McHenry. Oh, a little stumble there from the Seedsman delivery. And it's over and out. But terrific opening quarter. There's a minute to go. Adelaide leading by 7 points. They'd love to get to quarter time with at least preserving this 1-goal advantage. Who knows, maybe they can add another late one. O'Brien is a quality ruckman now. Murphy read it beautifully, so they do get their opportunity. Could land anywhere, Blitzarves.
Stand! Stand!
Veteran positioning then from Blitzarves. Took the dangerous space.
Isn't it funny for a guy that played in so many positions and spent a lot of time in the ruck, how quickly he's developed in one of the premier key defenders in the competition.
2018 was the year he actually spent his most time in defence. A couple of the other seasons he started there for regular periods but ended up being moved. Henderson coming back in the team last year allowed the Cats to move him up the ground.
I think what's so amazing about Blitzarves is the fact that he was an athlete.
Yep.
So, yeah, OK, you can tell him to go and play on someone and follow him around and he can go with him, but no, he plays the angles now. It's real footy now.
Wouldn't you love to have him in your side as a coach, boy, especially with the low rotations?
Murphy off the left. That is a stunning kick to cap off a stunning quarter from the Crows.
A bit of crowd action too, if you don't mind.
What are we seeing here?
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. What a kick.
Well, it's just Hunt the footy. He's the one that explodes from the stoppage harder than anyone else, tracks the footy forward, and it's just a great finish. He's flushed it. And reward too for effort from Adelaide. They've had some gilt-edged opportunities, some much easier than that this quarter, to put a bit more pressure on the scoreboard. And they both enjoyed it.
Look at the Crows fans. They're up and about.
Get around me, he said.
Fantastic.
Almost a touch of Eddie Betts sort of action from the pocket of Adelaide. Quite. So the last 14 seconds. Barely enough time. And less. Keys with the up and under. Need a mark there. I don't get that, but Rowe got a handball to O'Brien. Siren about to sound. And the fist was a timely one for the Cats. But a quarter as good as Adelaide could have hoped for. They brought the effort at the start. 8 scoring shots in the opening term to 5. Cracking goal just before the siren. The youngsters, the experienced players, they're all combining. No wonder they're on their feet at the Adelaide Oval. Round 1, what a start. Well, this has been a sight for sore eyes for Adelaide fans who had to endure a lot of torment last year. It's only one quarter, but what a start. It was beautifully finished off with Lachlan Murphy's long-range left footer, giving them their 4th goal of the opening term, 4-4-28 to 2-3-15. And they're all on their feet. Matthew Nicks certainly approved as he's entered his 2nd season up against the much fancied Cats. There's the situation at quarter time. Scholl, the most disposals, another young player for the Crows who started well. Well, Mark Rasciuto, I'm sure the fans over there would have loved what they've seen so far as we shuffle through some of the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely, Hutto. There's fans are up and about, even the players interacting with the fans after that Murphy goal. But we spoke about the need for them to be competitive around the midfield. Well, they certainly done that. They won the clearances. They also won the contested possession by 13, and they won the tackles by 9. They were 18th in the competition for tackles last year, so massive improvement. And all of that has led to a pressure rating of 228 for Adelaide. Competition average 178. So off the charts for one quarter. Can they repeat it?
Well, that's the question. We mentioned how at the back end of last year their competitive football had been superb, and they've carried on in the same vein in round 1 here.
There's one goal we wanted to have a close look at as to how they were structured up as they moved the ball forward.
Nick Riewoldt picked it up very early when he saw Paddy Dangerfield holding his spot in the goal square at one end, and then we saw Billy Frampton doing it the other. Just saying, you know what, I'm going to make the defence accountable, because if we are able to win the ball through a contest, I'm going to be in the best position. And I love this. It's encouraging quick movement of the footy. It's encouraging a little bit more of open play because you've got structure ahead of the footy. And I think teams are going to take advantage of it, bro.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it, to hold a player deep there, because if you do happen to get aggressive and take down the corridor and win it, well, you want something to go to next, because if it's high far forwards getting up the ground, well, the defenders are always going to beat you back. So hold a player there in an attacking position, and it's going to pay dividends. I think we're going to start to see that more and more across the competition.
Love it, love it.
Clubs seem to have just adopted a little bit more of an attacking flair. I think there's been a little bit of a shift back, just listening to some of the coaches throughout the pre-season and pre-season games, and we're seeing it. We saw it with Dangerfield, and we saw it there with Frampton.
So I wonder what Chris Scott is thinking at quarter time. I wonder what his messages were. They were unimpressive against Essendon, but you know their record in pre-season games is not that strong. But you'd have to be a bit concerned with what he saw in the first quarter.
I don't know that he gets too concerned, Chris Scott Hunter, because he knows what he's got at his disposal. He has incredible faith in the team that is representing the Geelong Football Club, and he knows that over the course of 4 quarters they'll work their way into it. Paddy Dangerfield had a pretty quiet first term, didn't do a lot. We know Tom Hawkins was pretty well beaten by Jordan Butts. That's not going to happen over 4 quarters. We know that.
I think you just tip the cap as well to the pressure of the opposition.
Yeah,
sometimes it's that simple. The opposition brings the heat, and you make mistakes. But
and what will that effort from Adelaide in the first quarter take out of them? Can they back it up?
You might get a quick answer. Back in the middle for the start of the second quarter. Split the difference between the ruckman O'Brien, that second effort. And there's Berry again. He's made an impressive start. He floated it forward, and that was okay. Rowe, so the debutants combining the quick turn and kick. Makes the defenders work from behind Henderson. Well, they couldn't really stop Frampton. It was Guthrie in front who disrupted Frampton, and he's annoyed with himself for not taking that second grab.
Big vote of confidence in Sam Berry there, boys, starting the centre square in the centre square. Starting second bounce in the centre square, that's what I meant.
We'll get back to you on that one, Roo, but I think we know what you meant.
Yep. Well, look, we're talking about a first gamer, and he's given the responsibility of getting it done in the engine room. Love it. Just challenge them all.
So there's Henderson doing ruck work against Frampton. It's unusual, and it might yet cost the Cats, although the flying shot across the face of goal from Laird.
Saw James Rowe involved there too. I like him. He gets busy. He knows where the ball's going. Gets his hands on it.
Yeah, another one who wasn't immediately drafted at first opportunities. Went back to the SANFL. Kicked plenty of goals. Walker. Sloan. Had that hand injury last year, which kept him on the sidelines for important part of the middle part of this phase of the season. He's leading strongly this afternoon. Dalhouse, they're all going with him too. Rory Sloan can bring the endeavour, but he needs his young players to come with him, and they are. That could have been a free kick to Adelaide easily enough.
Yeah, he waited a long time to blow the whistle too. And normally when there's that pause, you think the player's going to get pinged.
Good athleticism from Stanley. Clark trying to forge a path through, but he gets penalised. Didn't take the first option. Berry was the tackler. Didn't get the joy of taking the kick. From the side, McAdam! Oh, he can fly! And he's launched in the late afternoon sun in Adelaide, and brought down an outstanding mark.
He looks the sort of player, doesn't he, that he's almost going to perform better and look better when the ball's not kicked in his direction.
I thought he took off too early. He was almost on the way down when he took it, but great hang time in the air. Just needs to finish.
Yeah, a mark like that deserves the conversion. And they'll start to believe at the Adelaide Oval.
Just the freedom to run and launch. Unencumbered, really, in the end. Float in from the side of the pack. This is what you like. So it's the hard work he does before the ball's actually kicked. So the hard lead out to the pocket, that's where he loses his man. He can then turn, double back, and that is just a great hang.
That's all leap, isn't it?
Really started to show a little bit last year. He was rated as an above-average general forward for the season, and above average for marks, goals and score involvements in a tough year for the Adelaide Crows.
What's great about that was when he was ignored on the lead,
Yep.
he didn't just continue on with the lead, he doubled. He did that little hook straight away, which kept him in the play.
2 great goals has extended Adelaide's lead out to 19 points now. The Cats have got work to do. Selwood just got it in there as quick as he could. That could have been some holding against Rowan. No whistle. Brodie Smith made it Adelaide's ball anyway. Low, punchy kick back to the wing. Bewes showed immense courage. Hawkins, Bewes is ready now to launch the kick and get it deep again. They've got the extra body there. Butts didn't take it. Duday, watch out. Selwood. Kelly. And it's over and out. Jake Kelly had a bit of an interrupted pre-season, but naturally super fit player. And they need all the experience they can get down in defence. Having said that, what a start for Jordan Butts. Selwood basically threw it to Hawkins. Dangerfield. He could not see off Kelly. He put everything into that tackle. Adelaide are putting everything into every single effort at the moment. Can they sustain it? Myers. And that's good enough for Smith to take the mark for Adelaide, and quickly they're on their way again.
He's had the 5 possessions, Paddy Dangerfield, but he's been under enormous pressure every time he's got it. They're doing an exceptional job on him.
He averages 29 disposal against his old team, Patrick Dangerfield. 154 games for 163 goals at the Crows.
Lining up deep full forward at the moment, so less midfield time so far for Danger.
If he has 29 from there, he's going to have a heck of a game.
McHenry slightly overrun, but goes back and wins the footy. Seedsman got it forward, but straight to Isaac Smith.
This is where we'll want to see Geelong just start to control the footy a little bit.
The 2 recruits, experienced recruits combine. Higgins now. Spots Stanley down the line, but a big frame of O'Brien in front. Schonberg couldn't quite take the footy with him. Again, Adelaide have numbers at the ball. McHenry, Parfitt tried to rip it away, but didn't succeed ultimately. Wow.
Hey, boys, I reckon Brown may be done for the day. Hinge is on the boundary line. He's the sub, so he might be coming on. I'll keep you updated with that one.
Okay, so Mitchell Hinge, who is the medical sub, former Brisbane Lions player. Stanley, Schonberg, kept it away. Keys knew that he had to manoeuvre his way through. Loose handball from Smith. Atkins couldn't get clean connection. Guthrie through Stanley, imprecise. Smith has plenty of work to do, and work he does. Isaac Smith takes it and runs. Driving ball, but Adelaide well positioned, and he'll do that all day long. Duday. Some danger in the kick. Hinge ready to come on. Here's Rowe. Walker, as you saw, didn't want to overcommit. Kolodjasny didn't take the mark. Surrounded by Cats. Menegola checked by Kelly. their effort all over the ground has just been outstanding so far.
There's Mitchell Hinge warming up. He is giving every impression he's about to come on the ground. So it's bad news if Luke Brown's unable to continue for the Crows.
Well, particularly given he's one of the few experienced heads that they've got down there.
Not stopping it at the moment. Key's got it going. Jimmy Rowe from the pocket. What a chance he's got here. He's going nuts already. Oh, look at that. He's bursting.
Oh, the senior players started it to begin the game, and now the young kids are jumping on board, and how exciting. Again, it's just great surge mentality from Adelaide. This is what they did so well late last year. Their ability to win contests and get good looks going forward. Their efficiency late in the season, conversion going inside 50, made them a really dangerous opponent. So number 4 scores per inside 50 late last year, and gee, add a couple little handy kids into your side.
How good's the celebration?
He was so excited when he got drafted. His dad, of course, Stephen Rowe, 29 games for the Adelaide Crows back in the early 90s, one of the originals, and he's a media man in Adelaide, sports talkback radio host, a great character, so passionate about the footy club. And he'll be jumping out of his skin, Rowie, that's for sure.
He'll be crying. That's what he will be doing.
Yeah, he's crying when he got drafted, wasn't he? So, fantastic stuff. Zach Guthrie. Geelong are shell-shocked right now. Crows have kicked the last 3. Jenkins with the handoff. Guthrie. Can he find a way through? Isaac Smith on his left side, but you wouldn't know it by that kick.
There's just no time and space, boys. Every possession is under pressure.
Here he is. Stephen Rowe, front.
Not even having a day off.
Would have been a nice impartial call, I'm sure, as his son kicked the goal.
Kelly with the exit kick. Stanley did enough, but here he is. Straight in. Clean take. Kick along the line to Walker. McHenry tried to force the issue, but couldn't with Joel Selwood. Play on was the call. And look what it's created. Keys, an open forward line. Billy.
No.
Well, that's the one part of the game that lets him down, Jace.
That's just an opportunity lost. He was under no pressure, didn't need to kick it, just needed to keep running, wait for an option to present itself. That's a goal gone begging for the Crows.
Can't question his effort, the way he attacks the footy, but
his endeavour's fantastic.
That is a part of the game that he just wants to tidy up a bit.
Taylor Walker, bit of soccer action. Schomburg bringing Dangerfield down. O'Connor, he had to find it. Henderson, he was able to eventually. Selwood, careful kick for Myers. But by the time he took control of the mark, was almost where Joel Selwood kicked it.
Oh, don't tell me.
Oh, Geelong are just, well, they're almost falling apart at the seams under this immense pressure applied by the Adelaide Crows. Is it going to cost them another one from everywhere? McHenry! They can't miss.
I'm a little shell-shocked at the moment from what we're seeing. It's hard to gauge how much of it is just pure adrenaline and the absolute rush of the fact that they're going okay and they're just building on effort after effort. But we're seeing a normally composed Geelong team start to make mistakes, get a little bit fumbly. That kick from Myers just trying to change direction. But when Henry played on, the man on the mark, O'Connor, wasn't even watching. They are doing everything right at the moment, the Crows.
Well, they had to wait till round 15 last year to win. Now in round 1, they are 31 points up in the second quarter.
We don't talk about effort enough, guys. Coming into round 1, we pontificate on all the rules, on all the adaptations to the game styles and what teams are going to do with the footy. But sometimes, well, all the time for that matter, it's about cracking in and giving great effort, and it's hard to do. But the Crows are they've been phenomenal.
It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint for the bottom sides. Effort is non-negotiable.
And it's Ned McHenry's first goal in AFL football. He kicked 4 behinds last year. As at last, something to smile about for Geelong as Gary Rowan comes out. He's had very little impact in the game, just 1 disposal so far.
Effort's always been non-negotiable, hasn't it, boys? That's all the fans want. That's all coaches want. You just don't always get it, and there's a number of reasons why, but certainly the Adelaide Crows are doing it today.
He does this part of the game pretty well.
22 goals, 17 last year. Fair to say the Cats needed that. Gary Rowan provides a goal. A run of 4 goals for the home team ends off the boot of Gary Rowan.
Well, you can get a feel from the reaction when Gary Rowan kicked this. This isn't part of the script in this second quarter, but good leadership just to go back and steel yourself. To say that the Cats needed a steady up would be a gross understatement. So an important finish. Let's see if that just can't spark them into a bit of action here, the Cats.
Dangerfield in the middle too, boys. He's had 3 clearances in this second quarter.
Gary Rowan kicked 3 goals in the preliminary final win over Brisbane, but failed to fire in grand final today, just the 5 disposals. There's the inside 50, so Geelong have actually had more entries than Adelaide. A long way to go in this game, but Adelaide's lead is 25 points, so Blicavs hasn't even lasted the whole first half. Blicavs staying in defence. He's in the ruck for the Cats already, and he's given away a free kick to Laird, who was desperate to handball. Scholl confronted, but found his left boot. So they're under pressure again, the Geelong defence. O'Connor got hands to it. Atkins running hard the wrong way. That'll test his kicking. But he's done it well to find the chest of Joel Selwood.
Yeah, it's a really good kick. It's so important to find that first mark, because then it just releases all the pressure in that forward part of the ground.
Keeps it wide. Blicavs. And it's a significant advantage, isn't it? Patrick Dangerfield. A bounce being pursued by Hamill, and he couldn't see him off. There you go. That represents what we have seen today. They've been undaunted, this Adelaide side. The youngsters combining again through the middle. Berry kicks to centre half forward, and Walker takes the mark. We've just about seen it all.
Oh, that is not looking good. That's more than just blood. He looked concussed, didn't he? Let's hope he's okay.
Well, of course, they've already activated their sub, the Crows. So, based on what we saw there, they'll be down to 21 now for the rest of the game.
Jake Kelly. How good a chase was that, though?
You know what I'm sensing with Paddy Dangerfield, though, because things aren't on Geelong's terms. He's trying to do a little too much. Instead of just, he had plenty of room there to pick a target and deliver the ball. He wanted to run, sprint, fend off, have a bounce and kick the goal. Not selfishly, but to lift the team.
You can understand that mentality too, can't you? But sometimes, I guess you've just got to not let that happen.
So this is Hamill chasing Dangerfield.
Yeah.
It's a great chase. It's a brilliant chase.
So it's a clash of heads.
That is a head clash and a bad one.
If you elect to bump,
he's got to be in trouble, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because he chose to bump Paddy Dangerfield.
He might, so there's no malice in it. In terms of taking him high. That is a head clash.
But we have to protect the players.
Yes.
And you would think he might be in trouble, really.
It's good to see he's getting up from his own steam, although they're obviously showing.
They want to take all the precautions. They're just telling him to lie down, hop on the stretcher.
He's a tough kid.
Yeah.
I wonder whether when a player's in that situation and they're like, it's almost a signal to the family, isn't it, that I can get up on my own, I am okay. So
it's good that he's moving around and trying to do that. So
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. No doubt that's going to get looked at. So much talk in the off-season about the need to protect the head, and the AFL have made the relevant adjustments with a sub rule, but important time here for Geelong just to be able to regroup.
Have a look at Joel Selwood talking to his troops. He is giving them a decent talk. This is the head clash, so he gets rid of it. Dangerfield
He has to get a week or two, boys.
goes in with the shoulder, and it's a head clash between the two of them. So he didn't jump to bump, which is good, and it wasn't a jump bump where the shoulder hits the chin, but he still affected a bump after the ball had gone, and the head clash is going to be his responsibility, isn't it?
So basically, you choose to bump, you forfeit all rights. That's what we've been told. And despite the fact that there's no malice, there was no intention to get him high. No one goes in to get involved in a head clash themselves, because you're every chance of coming off second best, but that's irrelevant.
Well, we need that rule because we have to protect the head. There are too many concussions, and we're seeing the impact of repeated concussions with past players and the like at the moment being investigated and being studied.
So to play devil's advocate then, what was the alternative?
Well, the alternative was he didn't need to follow through and bump.
That's right.
Or he could have just grabbed him around the waist if he wanted to retard him. I mean, I don't think we expect players to jump out of the way. That's not in their nature. But I don't think he needed to continue with the contact the way he did.
Once you can't really grab them though afterwards, can you? Because then it's it's downfield. It's a 50-metre penalty. But I agree. He has to take responsibility. That's the way.
So he's late whatever he does. So he's better off with a diving tackle than with a bump, isn't he?
Well, in terms of a report, is
or sidestep out of the way.
And you can see the response from the crowd. Needless to say, we wish Jake Kelly all the very best. Hopefully he's fine. But it does leave the Crows. There would have been 2 men down, but the medical sub activated already with Luke Brown. But it's another defender gone too, isn't it? If indeed he can't come back.
Big chance for a crowd lifter here. Get the crowd right back into this if he can go home and put this one through, the former skipper.
There was a bit of byplay too between Jenkins and Taylor Walker as to where the mark should be.
Well, we saw him run around a big arc to kick 50 metres in the first quarter. He doesn't need to do that from here.
Given everything that's happened, Taylor Walker, this is a big kick in every sense of the word. A true leader. He's put it through. And the Adelaide Crows are back to 5 goals clear.
A really important finish. There's the collision we've spoken about. But Taylor Walker's been in everything. And he's got 10 metres of split there on his opponent. Henderson just coming back at the leg, and great vision to lower the eyes. And you would think pretty regulation for Taylor Walker, given what a prodigious kick he is. He's such a beautiful striker of the football. But he had a lot of time to think about that one, Jace.
He did, but his approach was a lot straighter than that one we saw in the first quarter.
5 of the last 6. Back beyond 5 goals. Dangerfield still in the middle. Tries to bound away, but he was under duress from Berry. Nice.
Plenty of boos from the Adelaide Crows fans too for Danger.
Hinge. Sharp looking kick. Oh, they got in each other's way.
It would have been a perfect kick for Lynch.
O'Connor playing it wide for Dalhouse, who's told by Myers just to settle. A considered approach from the former Bulldog, Luke Dalhouse. Up into the pocket. Oh, lunging effort from Duday. Some danger there if the catcher over to win the ball. McPherson had it ripped away. Jenkins did marvellously well. And the marker is taken, and it creates a goal for Sam Menegola.
Just massive confusion there out the back of that contest from the Adelaide Crows. You could see them all after the play sort of looking around and pointing at each other who was responsible for Menegola when he ducked forward. But this is the importance here. You can see Keys, you can see Murphy it is. None of them turning their heads. Seedsman comes in late.
It's a clever kick from Jenkins too, wasn't it?
Well, he just kept the ball alive, didn't he? Oh, you can see the frustration. There were 3 Crows players in the area. No one actually took the responsibility of going and manning up.
Well, none of them manned him up because they didn't see him. So it's so important in that situation just to have your head on a swivel, be constantly looking for what's around you, what might be coming through. If you turn your head there and you see him, it's easy. You just go pick him up.
Dangerfield's had 3 centre bounce clearances this quarter, boys.
He almost had another one there. Advantage goes the way of Berry again. Delivers for Walker. Oh, so close. Couldn't quite cling on. Guthrie couldn't keep it either. McAdam, Walker, there's Crows everywhere. Stewart, that is a massive tackle.
Great tackle.
That is brilliant.
Play on, the umpire calls it. Looked as if it was going to be a bounce now.
They give an enormous time for the ball to come out.
Well, that was a goal if Tom Stewart didn't wrap him up, ball and all there. Carnage on the Adelaide.
Well, we just saw Shane McAdam holding his right ankle or right foot. That doesn't look great either.
Blitzar's down to Atkins. Again, straight in a tackle from Rowe. They have bought the pressure and then some. Higgins to a man standing still. Patrick Dangerfield, there was very little he could do. That's a shame. They are going down left, right and centre.
Oh, there's the roll of the ankle.
At least it's to the outside. You can recover from them pretty quick. Hopefully they'll strap that out and should be okay.
Yeah, otherwise they're running out of manpower, the Crows.
They might have to bring in another sub, Jason.
Well, Rude took his boots.
Sometimes these are the days that are the making of a club.
Yeah, absolutely. He's actually had a bit of an impact so far. He's a nice size for an AFL footballer. 190 centimetres, 91 kilos.
You know, clubs will talk about those fighting victories where they're undermanned and they do it against the odds, and they say that was the making of our season. You know, for a young team like this, it'll go a long way to giving them some confidence.
Rowe again, pivotal. Berry couldn't quite collect. Bewes all under immense pressure. Dangerfield fashions some sort of kick. It's a live ball in the middle of the ground. Duday, he's got Butts there behind him. Took on Hawkins and failed. Play on was the call. Eventually holding the ball this part.
What he has done is held it up long enough to allow some of his teammates to get back behind the ball.
Ferguson had to wear one there from Menegola, who kicked the last goal of the game. To full forward again. And Jenkins could not get a run at it. There's Crows everywhere, and the biggest of them all, O'Brien.
Yeah, well, you want that to kick. It's got to come to ground if you're Geelong. When you've got Jenkins and Stanley down there, 2 big bodies, just got to compete and bring it to ground, bring the ground level players in.
Crampton got just to the right space, and the experienced runners are running. Sloan takes it from Smith. They got it from Laird, all involved. And the run continues from Smith, and he's within range. He's a beautiful kick, and that is ever so close.
Terrific rebound. Showing some real endeavour, the Crows. And they get the chance to go. They go quick.
Towers heaves the kick up along the wing. Parfitt had to use his body. Stanley had to go and then go again. McPherson could have been tackled high. Smith, they stay ahead of the game, the Crows. O'Brien, tough one for Berry. Headlong, but he burst through the O'Connor tackle, but not the second.
He was unlucky. He was unlucky there, and that's going to cost 50 as O'Brien kicked the ball away after the whistle. He did well to break the first tackle. It was a hospital hand pass.
3 minutes back, please. 3 minutes back.
Jed Bewes' free kick. I'm not sure why Stanley had the ball.
No, a bit of confusion there. It's a long kick from Clark. At the back is Rowan. And then gifted a goal.
Block. Paid the block against Jenkins.
Boy, they had a 2-on-1.
Look at that.
Once he turned his back, it's a bit of a signal to the umpire. Once you turn your back and not make a play on the ball.
Only pulled him out to the edge of the square. Don't they pull him out 9 metres now?
Scholl with a long kick. He'll come crashing down. The Cats are there to take advantage. Dalhouse sneaks away and delivers for Hawkins. Tom Hawkins has had just 1 disposal. That's his first mark 49 goals last year. This won't be one. Deep he goes to Jenkins. Right spot, but didn't drag it down. He kept on fighting, but so did Seedsman. That's a tackle and a half from Parfitt. And Seedsman, not much he could do once he realised he was captured by Parfitt.
It's been good, Parfitt, coming out for possession. Number 9 already kicked a goal.
And now he has another. He edged around beautifully and trusted the left.
They're starting to get a handle on things, the Cats. Really, they're starting to create more opportunities and getting themselves back in the game.
Yeah, Menegola and Parfitt, the last two to hit the scoreboard for Geelong. It's been some of that organic growth from players like that, hasn't it, that's kept Geelong so relevant over the past few years. And he's a player, Parfitt, you'd expect to continue to improve and go to another level this year.
Two goals to Brandon Parfitt, Menegola and Stanley. Gary Rowan, the other goal kickers for Geelong. Taylor Walker has a couple. And some of the kids getting involved. McAdam, who's now injured. McHenry, Frampton, Murphy, James Rowe, his first goal in AFL footy. All enjoying themselves in the Adelaide Sun. 20 points is the margin now. They've kicked the last two, the Cats. They can't get any further than half back. Brodie Smith, outstanding, delivers for Keys. And he can scoot away. Cats defence a little out of kilter. And the turnover, Lynch really speared it to Taylor Walker.
That's good ball movement. Yeah, I like the way Walker's presenting. He's got his hands to a couple. He looks good. He looks dangerous. He's kicking well. And really good delivery from Tom Lynch. You couldn't ask for anything better than that.
15 gone.
Already 11 disposals and 3 marks. At his best, he averaged 7 marks per game back in 2015, Taylor Walker. That's fallen away to about 3 a game in recent times. But this is an outstanding start. He stays relaxed and delivers another goal for the Crows. He's got 3.
Yeah, spot on with the ball use, Jace. When Tom Lynch won that footy at the top of the arc there, the fact that he actually rolled around onto his right foot, quite often a 4, that then becomes your trigger. OK, now I can come at the leg. We see a lot in modern footy now. This player goes back and just waits and goes along to the top of the square. But when he rolls, you can see Walker, he's in sync. He leads hard into that space that's opened up, and it's just a beautiful little touch kick to put him into the space.
Joel, run on the ground, mate. Yep.
Has not been an easy late afternoon for Chris Scott so far. Finds his team 26 points down as we get towards half-time, and Taylor Walker turning the clock back a little here this afternoon.
McAdam having a run on the boundary line too, boys. He's been strapped. He looks okay.
Good boys.
I think Rui had a word to him and said, "Righto, son."
We need you, son. That's good news for the Crows if he's up and moving around.
7 score involvements for Taylor Walker. Top of the tree so far. Stanley left there to tap it. Dangerfield had no idea where it had gone on the rebound. Ben Keys had. He eludes one. He couldn't quite clear himself of Jordan Clark. So O'Connor coming the other way is an awkward ball to trap and then know what to do with. Has he done enough to draw a ball up? No, he hasn't.
Well, he just had it tucked under the left arm, didn't he?
Yep, fair call, I think, and had to stand and wait. So Lynch, again, he finds a man inside 50, and it's McHenry.
And again, he was determined to roll. Determined to roll before they had a chance to get back and fill all the leading lanes. And it makes the forwards react.
But again, the man on the mark can't roll with you. He's got to wait till he's called play on. So you get a lot clearer run at the traffic ahead of you, and you don't have to kick over anybody.
Kicked a fantastic first goal in AFL footy from the boundary early on. He's got a bit more time to think about this one than McHenry, but it matters not. He's kicked his second, and the Crows are back out beyond 5 again.
Just when it felt like Geelong had wrested a little bit of control back, And we're starting to cut into that lead. The Crows go bang, bang. So you can see all the forwards were a little bit flat-footed, but then as soon as Lynch rolls, he's the man, Mick Henry, that reacts first, identifies the space. And that's just a couple of beautiful little kicks from Tom Lynch.
It's always been one of the most important kicks in football, that kick inside 50, and Tom Lynch has been one of the better players in the competition at that for quite a while. Called the connector for that very reason.
Yeah, he led the way in that position, didn't he, in many ways, going back a couple of years?
You saw him celebrating with his mates after the goal. What does rubbing your face mean, Nick Revolve?
Not sure. I don't know. I'm out of the loop, Jason.
Better have a touch now. Crows relentless. Walker again. Schonberg gets his opportunity, and there's Crows everywhere. Keys had to find the left boot. Has he got it to come back enough? It's trying.
He's working his butt off, Ben Keys, but he's just had a couple of opportunities inside 50 where he could have created goals, and it hasn't happened.
Stewart on the way out for Geelong. Guthrie rises and takes the mark.
Not only has Taylor Walker kicked 3 goals, he's had 13 possessions, second most on the ground.
Hawkins just can't get himself into the game. Nice collect from Blitzarves. Finds Zach Guthrie. Some uncertainty initially, but now he finds the lead of Jenkins. Not a lot of love, as you would expect in the house, for Josh Jenkins.
No, but the Cats need it. They need him to go back here and just get the job done.
Similar to the Gary Rowan shot. Similar spot on the ground too that just desperately needed to take a little bit of this momentum away from the Crows and sting out of the crowd, because right now they are into it.
Missed a set shot in the first quarter to the familiar boos from the Crows fans. 4-2 from that spot. Pretty good result.
It's gone hard left.
They got him twice, the crowd. Very good.
6 goals 2 to 3 goals 1 for the quarter. Oh, that's a fumble that could prove costly. Hinge at the handball. He had some backup though. Murphy just bides his time. Frampton gave him something. Hinge.
Pushing the back.
Just pushed as he kicked there.
Talk about Taylor Walker looking good, boys. He might be a beneficiary of these new rules. He's always been a player that relies on good ball movement, and with the ball moving faster and a bit more space and players holding back and leading up at the footy, that's what Taylor Walker likes to do.
What a performance from the Adelaide Crows. We mentioned they were anything but impressive in their 2 pre-season games against Port Adelaide.
Holding. Geelong.
Both players look at each other.
Stand. Play on.
Could have ruffled that one.
Yeah, Seedsman not impressed. Dalhouse just tosses it up. Is there a leaper there for the Cats? Oh, they keep crashing down. There's 3 down, and they cuddle Hinge.
He didn't dive on the football.
Didn't dive on it, the umpire said. Gary Rowan gets up worse for wear. He wasn't the only one.
What about Paddy Dangerfield running back with the fly to the footy?
Tom and Riley, thank you. Room behind, please, gentlemen.
Almost silly courage, that.
Play on.
Oh, Smith almost took it with him, but not quite. Jenkins to Rowan. Has he recovered? Has he recovered? Oh, kept in by Hawkins. Superb to Smith. Just needed a finish.
How many times have we seen a couple of Cats in the goal square and no one near them?
50.
A little bit of back chat there. Isaac Smith.
I think the Cats suggesting it might have been a deliberate behind, but the umpire said he was under immediate pressure. Smith, suddenly Adelaide could take advantage. Low and wide was the delivery. And great to see McAdam back out there. Schonberg hits him on the chest. So all of a sudden, from Geelong looking like getting a late goal, it's Adelaide with a chance to kick a 7th for the quarter.
The way he marked this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got Texas leg, though, has he?
I think he thinks he does, Jace.
He's had a dramatic quarter. He's taken the early mark of the year contender, kicked a great goal, been off and looked like he was done for the day. Had words in the air from Mark Ricciuto, found a way to get back out there. He didn't take the shot.
Adelaide Rock.
Oh, wow. That is going to cost Cam Guthrie and potentially Geelong a goal. Schonberg to have a shot. If Chris Scott's mood was ordinary before, imagine what it's like now.
I've got to interview him at half time. How do you think I feel, Hutto?
Come out, please. Up here. Up here's the mark. Out, please, Tom.
Kicked 3 goals last year in his 8 games, Harry Schonberg. That's what it was for. For a 7th for the quarter. It never really looked like it was online. So probably not enough time for the Cats to go the journey. Dangerfield. After his collision with Jake Kelly and the hoots all round. There's time enough for Adelaide though. Oh, and guess who's taken the mark?
Again there, you could say Taylor Walker had 15 metres between him and his opponent. So Rue's point about his ability to come at the football, that's always been his great strength as a forward, leading at the leg. And this will just about bring the house down, Hutto, if he can go back and convert here.
He can't run off the line though, can he, boys? After the siren.
Just adjust the calendar back to 2015 or 16 or 17 when Taylor Walker was at his best. He's kicked 4 goals in a half of football. And the Adelaide Crows are handing out a thrashing to Geelong. 7 goals in the quarter. The crowd can scarcely believe what they're seeing after the horror show of 2020. This is a team of kids with a couple of old hands who have somehow found the belief to put together a half of football that is worth standing for. And they are doing just that in the baking sun at the Adelaide Oval. They lead by 38 points. Taylor Walker has kicked 4 of those goals. 7 goals to 3 for the second quarter.
I'm not sure he's played as good a half of footy, Taylor Walker. His career high in disposals is 25 and goals is 7. He's already up to 14 touches and 4 goals too. That is a massive half of footy. Right when they needed it, the Crows.
So the lead is 38 points. I don't think anyone expected that. And the coach of the Adelaide Crows, Matthew Nicks, after what he went through last year as he began his career, he must be delighted with what he's seen in that first half. He's going to put the headphones on now. Matty Anthony Hudson, congratulations. The older players and the younger players, they were just sensational, weren't they?
That was a good start, wasn't it? We've got a half to go, though. But, yeah, incredible start was what we were after. We wanted to really get in their face. On their experienced side, they'll own the game on you if you give them a chance. But our intention was to come out and not give them any space. And our guys did that for a half. So now we'll regroup and they'll come out and challenge us in the third, no doubt. So we look forward to that.
So what will be the main message from here then?
Well, we've got a bit to deal with. I think we've lost 2 or 3, so we'll have to have a look at how we manage that second half, but there'll be no different message. We'll be at them again.
Matty, congratulations on the first half. As you said, a big half to go. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks.
Oh, Matty Nicks. What a half from his team. There's plenty to talk about. As we come back shortly, it's Adelaide by 38.
Oh, we are seeing some incredible scenes from the Adelaide Oval. Have a look at this for a celebration. James Rowe kicking his first goal in AFL football. And only the staunchest of Adelaide Crows supporters could have thought that they might be leading the Geelong Football Club at halftime. One of the premiership favourites. The Cats expected to go to Adelaide and get the job done in reasonably comfortable fashion. But somebody forgot to tell the Crows. This is an extraordinary first half performance. 11 goals, 77-73, setting up a 38-point margin over the Cats, 5-5-35. Really has been an incredible first half as we get the first thoughts from Nick Riewoldt, who's enjoyed calling it, and Eddie Betts joining us this afternoon as well. Eddie, I'll go to you first. Could you believe what's happened in that first half?
No, not really. I'm really excited, actually, to watch the Crows play some exciting brand of footy. You wouldn't have thought it was going to happen, you know, with Jordan Butts playing down there on Tommy Hawkins, but he's playing exceptionally well, playing in front. Tommy Day's helping him out, and they're just going straight forward and kicking goals. And Tex Walker, who would have thought? Back to his best.
Now, Rui, we've sat there looking at each other, smiling, going, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think even the most staunch Adelaide supporters, if they protected a lead at half-time, they would have been lying. This has been absolutely incredible. But it's a great reflection on the importance of effort and the willingness to compete as a young group. And I really thought the senior players set it up for them early. And from there, the young kids jumped on. And you could see within the first few minutes the amount of gang tackles we saw, 3 or 4 Adelaide players jumping on and surrounding Geelong players. That's a signal straight away to the coach's box that we're on and we mean business. And that's all you want from a young group.
Certainly do. Look, let's just forget the highlights for a moment. There was one incident in the first half which I think we need to have a good look at. Unfortunately, it looks like Jake Kelly has suffered a concussion. We hope that is all that it is. But this is going to come under scrutiny, this incident, because the hand pass goes, Dangerfield continues on with the hip and shoulder. There is an accidental head clash. But the spirit of this rule says that if you make the decision to bump, you're responsible for any high contact. So what does this mean, Nick Riewoldt?
Yeah, well, again, this isn't about hanging Patrick Dangerfield, because I don't think there was any malice in that incident at all. Like, Eddie, you know, that is a split-second decision, isn't it? And it's so hard to find that balance between, do I bump, do I tackle, what do I do?
It is, because when you get that close, you think, oh, could I go for the smother? And then you don't want to get off the ground. So hopefully he didn't get off the ground there, because...
He didn't get off the ground, but he still, if you make that decision, Ed, the spirit of the rule says you're responsible for what happens.
Yeah, well, hopefully it goes in his favour.
Yeah, well, again, the players know that if you elect to bump and it comes off second best, as it has done in this situation for Patrick Dangerfield, well, then you are liable for that. But it's been a big adjustment over the past few years from the AFL, and a necessary one too, because we know all the changes that have been made to try and protect the head and the seriousness of concussion, and the AFL have a responsibility to do that, and so I think Patrick will pay a price. So
let's call in our resident news hound, Tom Morris. Tommy, I know you've cast your eye over this incident. What is the verdict?
Just a bit of a history lesson for you guys. From 2015 to 2018, there was a provision in the MRO guidelines that allowed for an accidental head clash in the AFL. So Ryan Burton had a head clash with Sean Higgins and Ryan Burton got off. But at the end of 2018, a provision came in which read, head clashes will now always be considered a reasonably foreseeable consequence arising from a bump. So now we know that, and that's been the case now for 2 seasons and 1 round. We put it through the matrix, and bumps are always careless and not intentional. And as a result, this is careless, high contact and high impact. That will be 2 weeks. Severe impact will be 3+ weeks. So we'll have to wait and see how it comes out.
Oh, that is going to be a big story. Big thank you to Tom Morris. Thank you also to Eddie Betts and Nick Riewoldt. We'll take a quick break. Back to the newsroom. And more from Tom Morris in just a moment as we get the latest breaking news from round 1. See you in a tick. Half-time at the Adelaide Oval, and in a Ripley's Believe It or Not moment, it is the Crows by 38 points over the Cats. Taylor Walker with 4 first-half goals. It's been extraordinary scenes.
So can they maintain the rage? An astonishing first half by the Adelaide Crows, but as we know, there's long matches, young team, they've got some injuries, but they'd have to believe in what they've produced in the first half.
Yeah, they would, absolutely. They're a good thing at the moment, the Adelaide Crows. It is incredibly difficult to sustain that level of intensity. That's why the best sides are the best sides, because it's hard to do. But fully expect this Geelong side to lift in the second half. They are a very proud group.
So if I'm Joel Selwood and I'm talking to those players there, I'm saying exactly that. I'm saying this mob's playing above themselves. We know that we can lift. We know we've got a lot more to give, and if we do it for a strong half, they'll drop off and we can run straight over the top of them. We've been there, we've done it before.
What about from a system point of view? Do they make any changes, Geelong?
Well, the problem is, Hutto, they're getting beaten in most areas. They're getting beaten in contested possessions. They're getting beaten in the territory battle. Now, most other things, clearances are even, inside 50s are even, but Adelaide are just taking their opportunities. They look more dangerous going forward, which is the scary thing. And I think a lot of that is to do with the level of pressure that the Crows have been able to put on the Cats whenever they've had the football.
Jordan Butts, extraordinary the performance so far. Tom Hawkins just 3 disposals, only 1 mark and no score.
And we talk player ratings all the time. They don't reflect sometimes the players that are just doing a job. And Jordan Butts is doing that.
So attention back into the middle of the Adelaide Oval on a scorching day. Start of the 3rd term. Umpire, we're going to have to recall the football.
We just saw a shot of Tom Hawkins and Jordan Butts. If I'm a betting man, I'm suggesting Tom Hawkins is going to get a little bit fired up in this second half.
Well, O'Brien had his kick wiped out by Dangerfield, but he and Sloane kept at it. Good back up from Atkins, trying to springboard off half-back for the Cats. The fend from Dangerfield. He hasn't quite got the timing right. Smith, well, he decided to give the hand pass. He makes himself dangerous to the outside. Atkins, though, prefers the top of the goal square. Duday versus Rowan. Almost for Gary Rowan. And he was able to feed it out to Blitzars off the left. It hasn't taken Geelong too long.
It's a pretty flat response from the crowd.
It's a perfect start for the Cats, though, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can see that, well, albeit early, the spread from then in that centre bounce, Geelong, they just outworked the Crows. You can see Menegola there. He's tracking in. Blitzarves comes from the off-ball position. That's just gut running.
So Blixer... Blixarves looks like he's gone to the wing here, boys, which is one of the moves you were talking about at half-time. What can they do? Well, they've made that one.
Yes, we're all expecting him to be set for key defensive role for the year.
Yep, and it was that man standing next to him, Lockie Scholl, didn't quite put the tackle on Gary Rowan, and in the end it was his direct opponent that received the hand pass and kicked the goal.
So it took just over a minute for the first one. Stanley tried to pat it down for Dangerfield. Guthrie is crowded out. Dangerfield wants it back. Sloane matched him well. Terrific contest out to the wing now. A couple of Warriors, Laird and Selwood, and Laird tracked him and wins it. And that could have been 50.
Very lucky.
Pull out then if you're which way? Stand. Thank you.
Big advantage here for Sloane after the short kick. Deep kick. Geelong defenders under pressure. Frampton couldn't. Murphy's kick one. Great goal. Hasn't added another.
He hasn't done a lot yet, Billy Frampton, but he is getting his hands to a few. If he can get 1 or 2 to stick, he could be away.
Stewart used Zach Guthrie to get to a better position and now finds Kolodjasny. So the Cats moving it along with good rhythm along the wing. Myers, sharp kick. Blitzarves running hard. He's got one in the quarter. He took a step too many. Hawkins is saying, why not the pass?
How good was his half volley pickup, though? That would have been one of the goals of the year. To pick it up off the half volley, one-handed, and then if he slots that goal, it could be goal of the year.
Not bad for 6'6".
No, correct.
Instead, it was out of the full of the year.
As you said, Hutto, one step too many. He just invited the pressure.
That's a conundrum for Chris Scott. You can already see the value of his running on the wing, can't you? Yeah. I'd love to have 2 or 3 of him.
Berry. He's really relishing his first game of AFL footy. Scholl continues to progress. His 14th disposal, back to Duday.
But already Geelong have been able to hold Adelaide up. That quick movement has had to become a lot more deliberate.
A shuffle for position. Walker with 4 first-half goals. Didn't have access that time. Smith's high ball. Menegola took on 3 and beat them. Outstanding mark that he is for a midfielder, Menegola. His eyes are up quickly, and you can see why. Selwood stood for a little while. Took a long time to release the kick. Hawkins again is behind. He got there to compete that time, but well captured by Hamill. And they repel yet another attack and turn it their way. Hinged with the kick initially. Now it's Jimmy Rowe.
A lot of Geelong numbers ahead of him.
He was able to find a target, though. And when Smith gets the ball, they can move it quickly and accurately. And out the other side, Laird to Scholl. He's a devastating kick. Usually that wasn't his best. Although it's still alive for Murphy. Tried something on there. A bounce pass to Walker. The Cats trying to take care of it. Job's not done yet. Bit of triangle handball action. Got to find a way out of this. And eventually they do. It comes with instructions. Blitzarv's off the left boot again. Too strong for Menegola. Clever from Doedee. Scholl. They're winding up the Crows again. Scholl from the boundary. Top of the square, the heat's on again. Henderson takes the mark and goes with the flow.
Well, went for a barrel.
I think he was trying to hit the grass and let them run. And run they do. Rowan's got pace. Oh, Hinge has hurt himself.
Oh, he has.
Unhinged on the shoulder. Oh, he had Jordan Clark on. He was desperate to get it to
He's
Hawkins.
done something here, boys.
Yeah. Doedee. They just got to lay a tackle. He's vulnerable there. It might have been too high. It wasn't whistled. Smith tried something. Perhaps he didn't need to.
This is a comedy of errors.
Yeah, they messed that up.
He popped his shoulder out here.
Yeah, just when he goes to tap the ball.
Oh, he gets the
contact.
The arm comes over from Rowan.
Yeah.
They've dodged one there, the Adelaide Crows. Sheedsman on the way out.
Oh, he's in all
still
sorts.
out too. I don't think they can get that back in.
That's their biggest issue at the moment.
Manpower, yep.
Apart from what the Cats can throw at them, they're a little too cute. So Geelong certainly looking more likely in these opening minutes of the third quarter. It's only amounted to 1 goal so far. Selwood didn't quite have the touch on the kick. Kind bounce for Zach Guthrie. Stewart as they just keep on coming. And there's options out wide. Jordan Clark, this time he finds the channel. And Hawkins, we saw that a lot last year. We haven't seen it today until now.
Well, that's the first time he's really been in that situation where he can come at the leg, Tom Hawkins. There's been so much pressure on from the Adelaide Crows that a lot of the kicks inside 50 have been dump kicks, and Butts has been so good with his positioning that we just haven't seen Tommy in that many marking contests. But that's when he looks so good, when he's got space, the kicker's got time, and he can time his lead and come at the leg.
49 goals, 36 last year. It's the post.
While that was happening, we saw a shot of Mitch Hinge on the boundary. It looks like the shoulder is back in, which is good news.
When you're the medical soap, you don't expect to come on and then be injured yourself.
So you made a call a couple of moments ago, Hutto. You said too cute from Adelaide. They've been guilty of that 3 or 4 times already in this third term. Need to keep things simple. Need to keep the effort and the intensity up.
Butts. It's a pretty decent kick to find Walker, but he had his troubles immediately. Zach Guthrie kept it in because there was plenty of Geelong bodies around. They worked their way backwards initially, and then Bewes with the forward kick. It's quite wide and on the full. So this is when the shoulder actually gets put back in.
Oh, look at the relief. Oh. He stood up, it clicked back in, and he is so relieved.
Oh, there it is.
How good was that?
Oh, Doedee just able to shake the hips at the right time. Laird to Lynch. They're definitely more hesitant going forward, though, aren't they, Adelaide?
Well, I think Geelong have structured up behind the footy a little better, so they haven't got the open spaces to break into and play on quickly. But they need to keep things simple, Adelaide, and not try to be too fancy.
Lynch. Oh. Gave Bewes a look.
I've never seen that happen with a player before. Just it clicked back in himself, and then he was just like he'd won Tats Lotto.
Trainer was pretty happy with it too. Sloan blasts it very wide. Frampton got worked out of position by Stanley, who claimed the mark. Umpire saw it differently. Smith stretching that handball to Menegola. Cats have had a lot more time with the footy on the way out. They've been hitting targets. They weren't doing that in the first half. Dangerfield continues that rhythm again.
Just looking a little tired, the Crows. I reckon the intensity of their pressure has dropped off a bit.
Dalehouse with the offering out wide for Isaac Smith, who'll run all day. Not the best delivery. Keys. And the Crows see off another 404. And you can see Young man, Rowe on debut, just trying to tell everyone to calm down. Slow it all down. Seedsman, he knows only one way. Schonberg. Advance again. It's the go-to man. Oh, Taylor Walker, when you're hot. Oh, you're scorching. He's playing one of the games of his life.
Now, he's just kicked his fifth, and it's the best of the 5. But I'm going to make a call here, really. He wasn't having a shot for goal. You don't play on like that. It's like he saw the player ahead and wanted to get it there quickly.
I think he's just hitting him that well.
It just kept going.
He's pulled out the 8-iron and he's hit it 200.
He never even looked at the goals. In fact, it's come a little bit off the outside of his boot.
No, when you're hot, you're hot.
But again, that goal comes because they're able to play on. Seedsman played on from the mark, and that opened up things ahead. Look at him. Look at the look on his face. I think he knows. He got lucky.
How long do you keep Colin Jasny on him for, boys? He's kicked 5 now. Do they have to make a move? He had plenty of space there as well. That's why he got the ball. He's sort of running rings around him.
It also becomes an issue if you've got Blitzarves up on the wing. Do you put Henderson back on him? That's probably the only other option, isn't it?
Stewart, maybe?
I'm not sure they want Tom Stewart in the last line. They'd rather have his intercepting and rebound.
I think as much of a concern is the way the ball's just marching from one end of the ground to the other.
And that's why Tex is having such a big game.
Yeah.
Keys, super courageous. He was going to get the footy at all costs. Grantham edges the kick forward and Lynch timed his approach beautifully.
That's close to 50 as well.
Taylor Walker's kicked 7 once and 6 3 times. Is that high? It is. James Rowe's going to get the shot for goal for his second.
Well, what they have done, Adelaide, is they haven't panicked after Geelong got their first goal within 30 seconds of the restart, and everyone thought, oh, here come the Cats. They've managed to go again. He dropped a little bit for that one, didn't he? He leant into it.
15 gone.
I'd love another of his celebrations. We saw a beauty early on.
Yeah, passionate young man. Averaged 2.8 goals per game. Kicked over 80 goals in 34 games in the SANFL. Demanded to be picked. Given the chance on the big stage. And his dreams are coming true.
He's off again.
He can't get enough of it, Jimmy Rowe. And the Adelaide Crows have answered in emphatic style at the start of the third. This is from the Amy Series. He missed the goal right in front. Hasn't missed today. And they made him put it through a training so that he could make his senior debut.
It's a good challenge from the coach, isn't it? A metre out, no pressure if you put it through your play.
I think we're going to enjoy seeing this guy kick goals.
Yep.
He's got one of those infectious type celebrations where everyone's going to
look at the old man.
Oh.
The old man's loving it.
How good is that? Can't believe they made him work.
Probably wanted to. Calling your son kick a goal, that's not bad.
Sounds all right.
You might do that one day, Roo. Out of the middle. Did it in the Little League the other night. So, Cats shell-shocked again.
Dived on it.
Out the back.
Oh, he did well.
Murphy, nimble as you like. It's kick smothered. O'Connor shuffles through the options. Higgins to the outside. Parfitt had to let it bounce. It just slowed the progress. And again, you see the waiting game. There's a long lead coming up from Jenkins. It's awkward. It's Duday right with him. And that was the only safety for him.
We're talking about Adelaide, whether they're going to have the legs to be able to run out the game. Let's not forget it. It is a hot day over there in Adelaide. I think both sides, from a fatigue point of view, they're going to really start to feel it in this third and fourth term.
That's why it was so important for Adelaide to answer the Geelong challenge. Which they've done with 2 quick goals. Atkins eyes off Dangerfield.
It's a great kick.
Yeah, really good kick.
It's just been held up here, but it opens up the whole other side of the ground. Yeah.
All of a sudden, Tommy Hawkins is getting on his bike and leading up at the footy.
Yeah, but Hawkins doesn't get that opportunity without the Atkins kick inside the Dangerfield. It just opens up that whole fat side of the ground. That's where all the space is going to be when the balls transition from one side to the other.
And again, a great indication there of the man on the mark rule.
No doubt.
He just takes a step to the side and punches it low. That would have been smothered, and he would have had to kick it a lot higher to go over the man on the mark.
It's just totally changed the game, these rules, hasn't it?
Yep.
It's wound the clock back 5 years.
I like it.
Can Tom Hawkins deliver? He's working it back. Well shaped. Finally a goal for Tom Hawkins.
They'll still back themselves here, the Cats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a great test. Great test early in the season. You can see here, so Tom Hawkins comes from the on-ball side to the off-ball side, and you can see all that space just opens up in the middle of the ground there. Good players identified really quickly, and Tom, no surprise to see Tom in that space.
We just saw there a little bit of inexperience from Jordan Butts. He had players behind him, so he had to take front position. But he chose to take back position. There was space in front of Hawkins. He was able to lead into it.
Well, the Cats are going to have the last 2 Coleman medalists playing together. They're all set to go with Jeremy Cameron, of course, but he unfortunately got injured in the last training session redoing that hamstring. They've got Brisbane next week, so they're going to have some headaches if they go down with Dangerfield in doubt. McHenry out of the middle. The youngsters getting their opportunity in the heart of it. Their experienced players up forward. Sloane couldn't mark. Stewart pounced. And Geelong certainly rediscovering some run in this quarter. Dangerfield wasn't a great kick, and Brodie Smith recognised what the plans were. Put paid to it.
Riley.
It's a strange option because there were one-on-ones in front of the ball a lot deeper than that. Just see their desire to retain possession, Geelong.
Blitzarves. Keys.
Play on. Play on.
Gets to the outside and it goes Geelong's way. It goes Dangerfield's way. He was trying to hit Hawkins, but Brodie Smith, a thorn in their side again.
Tom and Riley.
He got back quickly, didn't he? That's a terrific effort. A real leader for him, Brodie Smith.
Hawkins that time got to a dangerous spot. The handed off. Higgins, Clark didn't quite get as balanced as he would have liked. Might get a second opportunity here. Higgins basically let the ball go, hoping to get a free kick. It's sort of tucked under him. And the umpire, decides it's worthy of a ball up and no more. Great to see Mitchell Hinge back out there. That shoulder strapped up.
That's a good result for Adelaide.
Parfitt was on the move. Was Guthrie taken high? Was Schonberg.
So they get a chance to kick a couple of back-to-back goals here and really narrow the gap a little bit. Plant the seed of doubt in the minds of the young Adelaide players.
It's the big 8 minutes, Jace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cam, just 1 metre.
If they can get it back
15
inside 30 points, you know, get to 25, between 25 30 points, they'll back themselves to run over Adelaide in the last quarter. Got to get it back to sort of that under 5 goals.
Cam Guthrie, one of their real leaders, reigning best and fairest winner. And it's kicks like that, underlining how important he is. The belief will grow just a little more. The nerves for the Adelaide fans will be felt around the ground and around the city of Churches. They still have a 5-goal lead, but the Cats have put a couple together.
As good as they've been, Adelaide, they have a lot of work still to do because they are up against one of the most professional clubs in the competition. They will keep coming.
From here, you know Geelong are going to have their opportunities, and it's going to become about how you capitalise on them. Seen them blow a couple of chances already this quarter, but it's an important finish.
Good early news as far as Jake Kelly is concerned. He's up and about in the rooms. We're not expecting him back, but not off the hospital, at least at this stage, which is terrific. Good news for family and friends. Blicavs in search. The Cats again. There's options. Parfitt stripped of it. Play on. Was that ducking or it's too high? And it's Dalhouse to have the shot. Brodie Smith, who's been outstanding, and didn't do a lot wrong there, but the umpire reads it as too high.
All of a sudden, it's Geelong that's moving the ball quickly. It's coming inside 50 at pace, creating opportunities for the forwards. It's a tough one for Brodie Smith.
You just have to concede there, though, don't you, boys?
Yeah.
You can't win.
Luke Dalhouse in a bit of a race against time to get to the line for round one. Now he's got a crucial kick, goes way out to the right, and he's worked it back beautifully. So they are coming.
Well, that just creates a little seed in Adelaide's mind. So important that both of those players, Guthrie and then Dalhouse, with that nice little draw, actually capitalised on those opportunities. Pretty regulation shots at goal. But what it does is it builds belief within your group. You look up at the scoreboard and you're that closer to striking distance. And Adelaide, the questions just start to occur.
I'm not sure I want him kicking for my life with that run-up. You'd have a heart attack while he's heading out towards the right-hand point post.
You love these little breaks from convention, don't you, Jace?
If you can do it all the time, hey, good luck to you.
Geelong look like they're going to try and stretch the Adelaide defence. Stanley's gone forward as well now, so Mitch Hinge will have to pick him up with Blicavs in the ruck.
So they may yet get this, well under 20 points, this margin.
Powerful spike forward from O'Brien to try and send it Adelaide's way. Keys is swamped.
And it's the Geelong midfield that's done it in the last 10 minutes. Starting to dominate around the contest. First use of the footy.
Guthrie's had 3 of those clearances you talk about, Jason, this third quarter. There's 7-3 in the clearances in the third quarter.
So the Geelong kicking 4 goals to 2, including the last 3, to put themselves back in contention. We know Adelaide will keep coming, though. Keys, dangerous kick. Oh, McAdam hit the pack hard. Play on the call. Atkins left it behind. Schonberg somehow got the handball through. McHenry tackles Alade. Kolodjasny hard the other way. Buse got the call on the outside. Guthrie, the brothers.
Stand, Brodie, stand!
Only once in the history of the Adelaide Footy Club have they been 38 points or more in front at half-time and lost. And that was the famous 1993 preliminary final when they were 42 points in front against Essendon.
Thanks, Hutto.
Cats to the outside. Higgins. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. That's going to be downfield. And Tom Hawkins will get a shot for goal.
Well, credit Cam Guthrie there for 2 incredible kicks,
Great
really.
kick, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, the first kick brought them inside, and then it was the change of direction again, back out to the wing. All the Adelaide players had thought that the switch was on, which left Sean Higgins basically unopposed.
Thanks, Joel. Time back on, please.
Sam Berry, I think it was, just a little over-exuberant with the pressure.
They had the spare man anyway, Geelong, I think.
And they've been doing that a little bit this quarter in particular. They're getting ahead of the football, really stretching the Crows.
15 gone, Tom.
He's taking the utmost care to get himself perfectly prepared to try and kick Geelong's 5th goal of the quarter, his 2nd. And he can't do it any more emphatically than that. Back to 19 points now. And what a change has come over the Adelaide Oval.
Do you change anything if you're Matthew Nicks, Jay? So the Crows have played a certain way to build up a lead. Do you try and play a bit of control when you get your hands on the ball, just to rest a bit of momentum, or do you just keep backing the effort in?
It's a very good question. Very good question. I will answer, but I do love Tom Hawkins' goal-kicking routine. It's outstanding. They've been forced into a little bit of slow movement of the footy this quarter. But for me, it's not about changing the way they play. The effort's dropped off, and it's taxing because it's a hot day. They were frenetic with their pressure and their harassing and all those sorts of things. It was natural that it had to drop off a little bit. What we do know about Geelong is they'll keep coming because they're professional and they know how to play the game.
Stanley timed his lead. Look at him bound away. Reece Stanley catch suddenly at full forward, and it's Rowan trying to wrestle it away from Hinge. He took on the world and he lost.
Talk about that pressure rating, Jason. It's down to 156 each in the third quarter. So we said Adelaide with 228. AFL average 178, so they dropped to 156 in this third quarter.
Yeah, saw Reece Stanley rip away another clearance there. It's just coming down with Gai Abandon.
It's a bit more circle work like this third term.
Two-day bangs.
Oh, good mark.
About that.
Takes a lot of courage to run in blindsided like that against the grain. Not sure what's coming the other way.
Fearless Patrick Dangerfield.
Oh, he was edging his feet, Taylor Walker. I'm glad he didn't take a step. Would have been 50.
Kolodjasny as the catch switch and look for a different angle in. Guthrie. Henderson.
They're finding a lot of space and a lot of loose players, the Cats now.
A lot of congestion, though, you can see ahead of him. So just plants the kick. They're outnumbered here, Geelong. Good fight from Hawkins. Those Shoals hands were slick. Oh, Guthrie straight ahead, bowled him over, play on the call. And the Crows just hack it out of there. Geelong well positioned, but it's a good result for Adelaide. Appeals are made for deliberate, but I think a good call. Oh, look at that. We've never seen that before, have we?
Never seen it.
301.
Just the last 10 minutes.
The gauge has exploded.
We've had to extend the gauge.
But you can see where Adelaide's dropped off, and that's the effort's just starting to tell.
O'Connor, Atkins, Guthrie, O'Connor. Oh, which way are you going?
The other thing about the way Geelong have used the ball is if you're hitting targets and taking marks, it becomes impossible, actually impossible on that gauge to apply pressure.
Yeah.
It's an interesting call from Guthrie. He had Smith, who he ignored. And instead he went to a one-on-one, and it's going to cost them. It might cost them a goal.
Massive kick right now. Massive kick. Probably a risk that he didn't need to take, Guthrie.
Good thinking, though. Quick thinking from Lynch. And big Billy Frampton. Still trying to make his way in that role as second key forward. Come back up Ruckman. Not many get across from one side of town to the other in Adelaide. Started at Port. Very much an Adelaide Crow. They'll love him even more if he could slot that through. But
wasn't a bad kick off the boot. Just faded. Or just when they desperately needed one too. They need a settler big time.
Stewart into Kolodjasny. He was hankering to handball.
They hadn't called Stan. That's why it wasn't 50.
All Adelaide in the air. They don't count out Dangerfield. Orp used as it turned out. Parfitt played it back because he heard the call from Danger. It's going to be tough for Menegola. We know he can compete brilliantly in the air, and he shows us again. Across to Dalhouse. The ball is zinging around. Oh, Buse somehow found a path through, and at centre-half forward they're lining up. But Billy, not just at one end, but the other two. There's a cat down as the Crows are on the move. Minute 20 to go. Quick kick. He's recognised that Keys is loose. A late goal here would be golden for the Crows. And he just couldn't clang on there. McAdam, he gets up with the ball. He handballs desperately, and Geelong recover control. Stewart back to the wing. And then to Henderson.
Got a good purchase on it, McAdam.
Isaac Smith.
Done pretty well here, the Crows, to hold them up. When it pings back and forth like that, you expect spare players to be on everywhere, but managed to man them up pretty well.
A late goal here will kill the Crows.
Smith goes deep. There's genuine one-on-ones, and Hinge could do nothing. No doubt impacted by his injury, or you'd suspect he would. Just couldn't move. And Gary Rowan can add a bit more insult to the injuries that are mounting for Adelaide in this quarter.
Another one that's very, very good with the set shot routine. And Chris Scott knows they've got a decent hold on this game now.
Still 20 points behind. There's Gary Rowan. That's too far to the left. That's a massive let-off for the Adelaide Crows. All the momentum would have been with the Cats if they'd put that one through. Instead, Adelaide still have a 19-point barrier to work with. We're set for a huge last quarter. Chris Scott has had to ask all his experienced players to find something. The youthful enthusiasm, as well as some of those veterans for Adelaide. Some of them have put in incredible performances, but what have they got left for this last quarter? It's a 19-point ball game. Join us for the final quarter next. Wonderful setup we have at the Adelaide Oval. Chris Scott imploring his back group there to continue on their hard work and stop any forays forward for the Adelaide Crows. The Crows, who kicked 4 goals to 2 in the first quarter, then 7 goals to 3 in a blitz in the second term, found themselves under attack in that third quarter. The Cats kicked 5 goals to 2. And we've seen the youth of Adelaide, and we've seen Taylor Walker just roll back the clock to his very best, 5 goals.
Yeah, you suspect he's going to have to add to that tally in the last quarter if Adelaide are going to hang on here against the surging Geelong. I love the game of chess within the game of football. So Chris Scott gets time at half-time to go away, to reassess, and they made some differences in that third quarter there. They seemed to take away the space from Adelaide, and then when they moved the ball, the combination of Adelaide's pressure dropping away and Geelong just being a little bit more precise means that they got the game more on their terms.
The other story out of the match, of course, is the Cats trying to overcome this 20-point lead, is this incident from earlier in the game. We're pleased to report that Jake Kelly seems to be okay, hasn't gone to hospital, but Patrick Dangerfield, by choosing to bump, has himself vulnerable to potentially missing a couple of weeks.
No one wants to see Danger get rubbed out, but the letter of the law says he will. Yep. And it's that simple. And we have to protect the head of players. We know all the dramas around concussion and the long-lasting impact of repeated concussions, in particular for past players. That is such a hot topic at the moment. So we understand why the rules have been changed to protect the player that's defenceless.
So Adelaide with 2 down. Of course, the medical sub means it's only really 1 down effectively. The Cats haven't had to bring Charlie Constable in at all. But Mark Ricciuto, we saw down there Mitch Hinge. He still looked fairly ginger with his shoulder, so that enabled Gary Rowan to take the mark, have the shot which he missed, which could have been crucial, but it's all set down there.
Yeah, throw McAdam into that as well. They are the walking wounded. But you're talking about Paddy Dangerfield. Had a quiet first quarter. He was up full forward. Only had the 4 touches. Since then, he's had 9 in the second and 9 in the third. Many of those centre clearances and going back and taking some marks as well. So he is threatening to win the game off his own boot. He probably won't be out there next week, but he's going to make his presence felt today here at Adelaide Oval for one more time.
So the really interesting thing for me now as we watch this last quarter unfold, Rui, is do Adelaide try and slow it down, save their legs, take time off the clock? I think if they don't kick at least a couple of goals, they're going to get run over anyway.
Yeah, the danger with that is if you just want to try and hold the footy, the Cats are good enough. They'll get you on the counter punch. They'll kick more than 3 goals in this last term. So you've got to hit the scoreboard if you're the Crows.
Frampton versus Henderson out of the goal square for Adelaide. There's the scoreline, 87-68. Stanley had the better of the ruck contest. Dangerfield throwing himself in again. Matched by Laird and Sloan. You'd expect nothing else. Selwood stopped him in his tracks.
The time for Adelaide to try and milk the clock might come late, but it can't come from the start of the quarter.
Great battle between these 2 big guys. They take each other down. Higgins couldn't quite out of there. Sloan found away by hand. Hughes a fumble. Sloan had access and now he's been clipped.
I reckon he got legged and got kneed in the head. So he copped it at both ends. Oh, yeah.
Guthrie. So Dangerfield forced to come from the ground. 23 disposals. 5 marks, 7 inside 50s. Hasn't hit the scoreboard today.
He played the majority of that first quarter forward, didn't he? But that's where Geelong struggles through the middle of the ground. He's been back in the guts.
Sloan gives it everything he's got. Walker! Oh, he might have given away the free. I tell you what, there's a great fly.
Plenty of hands in the back to get up there too.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is if Frampton doesn't get his hands to it, Walker does get his hands to it, and it wouldn't have been a free kick.
If Frampton had taken the mark, would they have paid the free kick against Walker?
I think you have to, because he's denying Stewart the chance to spoil.
The question is, would they have paid it if Tex had marked it?
Yeah, they always pay him, Roo.
Doesn't make sense, though, does it?
There's a lot that doesn't make sense in our game, Roo. Like the way the Adelaide Crows have dominated the first half. They've made a positive start here to this last quarter. Henderson gone. Walker again. The moment's there. Laird dribbles it. Frampton keeps it in. Could have been brilliant. Stewart had to rush the kick. And now Ben Keys with I thought he had an opportunity. It got away from him. Jordan Clark, scything ball, a good one for Myers. Seemed hesitant on where to go, and you can see why. He couldn't get enough on the kick. Plenty of chances here, although Guthrie.
He's playing a great second half, this guy.
Yeah.
Quickly to his feet after the brave mark. Oh, Menegola gets shoved out of the way. Well done by Schonberg. Can use it to Adelaide's advantage. Laird, they're on the march. Well read again by Guthrie, denying Murphy.
Well, if they're going to get over the line, the Crows, they've got to make something of these opportunities going forward. All of a sudden, they're not able to find players on the lead. They're not able to find space. Geelong have upped the ante. What have they got left?
The crowd's behind them, chasing
yeah.
How much we missed this last year. The crowd playing a big part. Atkins punches it wide. Higgins couldn't get it under his control. Parfitt stripped of it by Schonberg. Players old and new, adrenaline pumping at the Adelaide Oval. That's great stuff. That's good hand-to-hand combat. And we can't get enough of it.
We've just seen a couple sort of nervous moments in the air. Menegola just before, Higgins then, almost expecting contact coming the other way. That's just a byproduct of Adelaide's pressure all day.
O'Brien thought he could steal the march.
Holding Adelaide.
It's a free to the Crows. It's going to Rory Sloane. Can see how much this means to him. He had to endure a torrid year as skipper last year. Could not find a victory until late in the season. How much he'd love to get over the line tonight.
Play on.
McHenry kicked one from the other pocket.
Well, clear. To the area. To the area.
It's been a good few minutes for Adelaide. They're playing in their forward half, which is where they want the ball to be, but they haven't been able to capitalise on the scoreboard.
20 points now. Back to Stewart. Is he really wanting it? He goes to the one-on-one. Rowan, McPherson. It's okay for Rowan. The collect was good, then he lost traction. Well, it's either holding the ball or out of bounds. It's holding the ball. He had to find a way to get over the line without... He might have got some cramp as well. He's just struggling a bit away from the scene. Tom Lynch eyes up into the 50. Geelong have one spare back to fill the hole. So he goes for the short option to Seedsman. Precious seconds ticking away as Adelaide press again. Frampton at the back is Stewart, safe hands.
Well, that kick doesn't help you. That pumping kick that goes a couple of metres out either gets rushed or intercept marked. It's got to land 10, 15 metres out from goal.
Thanks, Lachlan.
Stewart, Stanley. One hand was almost enough. Menegola tried his luck. Denied by Berry. Higgins, Atkins. All under pressure. There's a cat down as Parfitt's kick goes back to the wing. Oh, courage from both players was immense. And Laird took the Sherrin with him.
You got to love this bloke as a player, Rory Laird.
It's a somewhat dangerous kick. McPherson, steadfast enough.
He's going to come off Rory Laird because he's limping too. I'm hoping it's just cramp.
Tom Lynch Had some important kicks today. That's another one of them into the pocket. Atkins.
High contact.
Just got him high, Atkins, in the marking contest, I think, yeah. And it was a smart kick from Tom Lynch again. So you just lamented the long blast kick to the top of the square that doesn't really do anyone any favours. This is a clever kick because it was just into the space in a position where Murphy was the only one that could ever mark it.
The good news for Adelaide is he's a left footer at least.
So he made the spoil, but then dragged down on the follow through. Murphy kicked a beautiful goal earlier on. That was late in the first quarter. It really gave him the impetus and some belief. But this is different. This is in the final term. When you've run all day, every eye on Murphy. It's across the face. Still in the field of play. And the experienced old hands of the Cats. Of course, no Harry Taylor down there, but Lockie Henderson provides that wealth of experience. Henderson up along the wing. Cats haven't been able to get past here so far in the last quarter. Clark. And they're going around in circles at the moment, but there might be a way out here. An unconvincing kick. Parfitt trusts his left boot. It gets to Menegola. He's about to be run down.
Mitch Hinge, he's popped the shoulder again.
So the Crows haven't got too many soldiers standing, but they are staying in the contest with fantastic effort after effort. Durde just brushes off and brings Parfitt down, who might be hurt himself. Careful kick from O'Connor.
You just get the feeling the Cats are going to kick a goal and then open the floodgates.
Selwood, can he hit a target? It's a clever-looking kick to the top of the square. Higgins with his guile and experience. Oh, McPherson did enough. Well done, young man.
A couple of really important, desperate acts from Crows players. The chase-down tackle before from Lockie Murphy. And then that one from McPherson.
Hinge in enormous pain, boys, coming off of that shot. It's the second time this game, and he did it in the pre-season as well as after Christmas, so dislocated that 3 times in a couple of months.
Jenkins, clever enough to step past Keys. Goes deep again. Higgins going to find it hard to compete in the air with Durde.
Yeah, it was a gutsy effort for Hinge to come back on after popping it out. He's given all he can for his team.
Treacherous kick, but got the handball away. The pressure pass to McPherson. Can they get out of jail? It's a hack kick.
Looking tired.
Yep.
Oh, Berry flew with great endeavour. Scholl's been outstanding, although he just knew halfway through he was in trouble. Zach Guthrie's punched his way through, but he misses. The Cats are threatening now, but still can't close the gap. Po-faced Chris Scott looking on.
They've lost their composure, the Crows.
Certainly hasn't lost his tan over the summer from last year in the hub, Chris Scott.
They might have lost their composure, but they won't really feel the pressure until Geelong hit the scoreboard.
Exactly. Durde's kick was good. Keys. They still created opportunities in this last quarter. And here comes another one. Lynch trying to find the best way forward. Sloan summed it up well. It's one-on-one. It's Stewart. Nice little touch on McAdam. Ground level crew. McHenry. He can smell a goal. He's got high contact. They play on. And it ends up. It ends up with McAdam. It could have gone anywhere. Over the top. And Schonberg. Somehow they got there.
I thought they'd blown it when Frampton played on and took the advantage when they had a set shot 30 out directly in front, really.
Yeah, you're right, Jay. Well, that's younger heads.
Yep.
That's inexperience. All's well that ends well. You thought Stewart had done well enough here with the body work and the spoil and just ability to evade tackles. I'd be disappointed with that, the Geelong players. 2 opportunities to wrap him up there. Ned McHenry and 2 broken tackles.
The Cats have now got injury issues. Charlie Constable, who's the medical sub, is warming up. Get to Roo to give us some sort of update on that in a moment. Mark Blitzarves is on the sidelines at the moment being assessed. Sam Menegola, they're looking at the incident on the monitor. Who wants the football? Adelaide have got the first goal of the last quarter. Just the tonic they need. Bit of cat and mouse there with Clark. To the outside to Atkins. Selwood, no free kick. Play on the call. And play on they will. The Crows, have they found a second wind? Walker left it behind. O'Connor didn't want to concede too much. But there's Adelaide Crows everywhere. Hamill. Oh, Selwood found a way through. Jordan Clark kicks quickly. You know why? Because he's got a man out wide. It's Isaac Smith.
Gee, that hurts. There was a good little chip to Taylor Walker on the lead. He marks that, buys a bit of time. They get a chance to go forward. All of a sudden, there's the turnover, and you get hurt on the rebound now. Has to kick this. You just think he has to kick this if Adelaide are going to win the game.
Thanks, Isaac.
Geelong are going to win the game.
Oh, sorry, Geelong, yes.
Cats fans have seen Isaac Smith have crucial kicks for goals in previous years and barracked hard against him. But this one is right through the middle. Isaac Smith kicks his first goal in Geelong colours and the triple premiership player for the Hawks. As Matthew Nicks quite concerned, although Adelaide still lead this one by 3 goals.
Yeah, it's a dangerous margin though, Hutto. Still with, what have we got, 11 minutes left on the clock. The way Geelong have been able to just pile on scores at various stages over the past 12 months.
Constable on, boys. He's moving straight to the forward line. So it looks like Menegola's done for the day.
All right, so the medical sub employed by both teams.
Well, what the Cats do know is they recruited a runner in Isaac Smith, so there's a lot of tired players out there. He will keep running.
So Charlie Constable out on the ground. O'Brien kept on charging forward. Hughes spinning hard the other way. Holding the ball. Laird, how much of an advantage? We'll see. Frampton, he's got it. He's got it.
Got away with a little nudge in the back. Wasn't too much. Thought he should have grabbed it with the first grab, but he was very fortunate that he got a second go at it. Now he needs to go back and kick the goal.
So we're getting to a stage now with 10 minutes remaining. Adelaide leading by 18 points against all expectations. A goal here, and they're going to be hard to beat. Frampton, Billy, do be a hero!
There's a bit riding on that kick, Jace. Personally and for the team. I mean, he wants to make that second forward position his own, and there's a bit of competition for it. Gee, it wasn't a great effort from Stanley to get across and actually try and lay a glove on or a smother on there. You'd like your time again, but wouldn't call that desperate.
No, I think that's a very good point. I think they've been a little bit more desperate. They've given all the... I mean, it's hard not to have incredible admiration for what we've seen from Adelaide. I keep expecting Geelong to come and run over the top of them, but they're finding a way to stay in front.
Well, they really deserve to win on what they've put up today, but medical issues for both teams. Pain being felt severely by Menegola. Out of the middle again, Rory Sloane. What a game he's played. Guthrie under all sorts of pressure. This might just about finish them. That's... Well, it hasn't. As you can see, it's missed by a wide margin. Mickey Murphy. 5 goals in 10 minutes. I mean, if they kick another one, it's going to be mighty hard for the Cats.
Tough from here.
Whether they can kick that other one, I don't know.
So Constable on and straight into the thick of it.
See, they're creating space, and here's Smith. We said he can run all day. Now they've got the overlap.
And here's the other man that can run all day.
Oh, that's a terrible kick. They were away. They've just made mistakes we're not used to seeing, the Cats.
A lot of those have been brought on by the great pressure, but that one certainly wasn't.
Laird just places the ball up so O'Brien can run at it. And he almost dragged it in. Under 10 to go now. 9 minutes 25. Ooh.
It's just about roll the dice time, though, for Geelong when you get it.
Dangerfield only won in this last quarter.
Still going to need some cool heads, the Crows. There's decision making now. When there's a chance to go quick and maybe set up a scoring opportunity, you've got to do it. But when there's not, taking a little bit of time off the clock every now and then.
Murphy, eyes were darting. They've got to the outside. McHenry just dabs it, and Rory Laird can use up every second on offer here.
That's it. That's a clever little kick, that one right there. It hasn't created a really good scoring opportunity because you just don't expect a player to kick it from there. But it keeps possession, takes a bit more time off play. They can set up behind the ball now. Oh, would this be? This would bring the house down.
Rory Laird, just 15 goals in his career.
Oh, don't tell me.
It is a very, very handy point, though, Jason.
Yeah, but gee, it was a good effort.
I know.
Threading the needle.
Well, red alert.
They're setting up for down the middle here.
Red alert, Adelaide defenders. You don't want to get beaten goal side here. That's the play.
Didn't get all of it, Clark. Got it back to the middle, pouncing Dalhouse. And then out onto the grass, and the race is on. Those tired legs, commitment needed. They all foul down except Myers. Strolling in, Isaac Smith. Doesn't miss with that kick. He's got two, and it's still on.
You called it, Ruin. I'm surprised they don't set up a sweeper. Someone deepest, just to stop that. I mean, everyone knows that Isaac Smith's one of the best runners in the game. And away he goes. And he's just going to keep going because he sees them win the footy. Now, this contest here, as soon as the ball gets past them, it's game over, isn't it? Never going to catch them. So they've got to play smart, Adelaide. Play the percentages.
Well, that's where you rely on your senior players, absolutely. You're playing for a historic win here if you're the Adelaide Crows. Yeah. I mean, no one in the country, no one involved in this competition picked you to come out and win this game. So in that situation, you've got to have the senior players saying, hey, boys, just set yourself a little bit deeper. The one way we get beaten here is get beaten out the back. Got to respond here, the Crows.
It's back to the three-quarter time margin of 19 points. Frampton into the ruck now. Got the tap. Sloan couldn't get past Selwood. Constable was good. Gets it across. Blitzarve already has Geelong to the outside. Higgins sees a man on the inside. It was Isaac Smith. He ignored him. He went long to Rowan. It couldn't quite hang on to it. Now a ball up.
Yeah, you can see the desperation now on the Crows players. They've got a real sense now that we're only 8 minutes away from winning this game. You could see it on the Tom Lynch chase. You could see it on Duday's face there as he won the footy. High stakes.
Still winning around the clearances, the Crows. Geelong an opportunity here, though. Shuffle the handball, Stewart. And Isaac Smith is becoming a big factor.
Well, and that's the great thing. There's been a lot of talk about fatigue coming into the game and people worried about fatigue and what that might do to the players, whether they'll get soft tissue injuries. But I think it brings the endurance beasts into the game and allows them to showcase their talents. And players like Isaac Smith will benefit.
He's kicked two.
Oh,
that's unlikely to be a third. And Frampton does.
That's a serious floater.
You know what, he had his head in the game too. It's really easy to switch off there as a player.
Good wide kick. That's where he's got to go.
Stewart looked like he was going to rule the air there, but he didn't. Taylor Walker happy to turn defender.
And this is where they've got to switch modes now, the Crows, really. They want stoppage after stoppage. They want to lock it in. They don't want the ball getting on the outside. They want to take time off when they can.
Well, you've got to know what's coming the other way as well. You've got to know that the Geelong players are going to start to get on the fly and get really proactive.
So Tom Lynch has planted himself behind the ball here.
Selwood goes off the left.
He's the loose.
Hawkins. Jenkins, in fact, flying and looking the most likely. Through the fingers. Atkins. Higgins searching. His left foot kick is astray. It's through for a behind. Well, they needed to score 4 times.
Thanks, Gary. Straight out.
Now it's back to a 3-goal ball game.
So if you can here, if you're Adelaide, you want to retain possession.
Stay with him.
Kicking to a contest just invites Geelong to win it and comes straight back at you.
You okay?
Could have gone straight back to Seedsman if he wanted to.
Seedsman, his legs pumping. It's an ambitious kick, too much so as it turned out.
The idea was right.
Yeah, just the execution, wasn't it? And he knows they're getting tired. And he knows there's still time on the clock.
Well, you can see the anxiety and desperation on every possession, every touch.
You're too late now, mate.
Too late, so he's got to stay out.
Indecision from Selwood. Myers had to handball. The pressure's immense again. Too much for Atkins.
That's a brilliant tackle.
Yeah.
Keys.
You can see what they were trying to do, Geelong, just get the ball in motion. But that forward handball to a stationary target with the pressure that Adelaide have been bringing, he was a sitting duck.
If you want someone that epitomises effort, it's this young man.
Couldn't find a regular place in the Lions lineup, but he has for Adelaide. McHenry's handball goes out of bounds, and it's 5 minutes and 38 seconds now. Joel Selwood sits down for the Cats. Henderson ready to jump back out onto the arena. Clock's becoming a big issue for Geelong very soon. Clark to Constable to half forward. Parfitt rode it well. And the handball sees Guthrie on a path to goal, but it just deviates to the left.
They are coming.
Yeah, they've got to take them though, Jace. They've got to take their chances.
What we are seeing from some of the Adelaide players too, you talk about the fatigue setting in. We're not seeing second efforts when they get beat, when the ball gets past them. They've got to hang tough here, hang really tough.
Smith back to the wing. Dangerfield set himself. Underneath it, Constable been a factor since he's come on. The handballs are chained up. Isaac Smith again. Deep, flying high was Jenkins. Crashed to the ground. Smith into a handball straight away. Guthrie the same. Parfitt couldn't shake up the tackle. Atkins hits the target he needed to. And the locks of Brian Myers.
His 17-point margin, that would make you nervous as an Adelaide supporter. 3 straight goals wins it. And an opportunity here still with over 4 minutes left on the clock.
Not wasting any time, realising the urgency of the situation. Brian Myers hits the target and the Cats are still in it.
I'm not sure he struck it.
No, it wasn't convincing,
all that well, but it was effective enough. Oh, that's a nervous margin. That is a nervous margin for Adelaide. So we saw that last long down the line that they went to. It was very stationary for Adelaide. So you're standing there, you're waiting, and essentially Geelong with the outnumber down the line, that ball was always coming back at them.
Essendon and Hawthorn coming up. The Hawks are out for their big Saturday night clash. And the Bombers joining them. What a start to this AFL season. What a clash we've got now.
Premium on centre bounce here. The Crows have been so good from this part of the ground today. Sloane's in there, the skipper's in there.
Lockie Show had to run in there though, Nick, because James Rowe come off the bench, so Lockie Show's in the centre.
4 minutes 20 remaining. O'Brien left to get the tap. Blitzard chased after it. So too did Sloane. Coming through hard is Berry into the ground. The young bodies, can they see out this last 4 minutes? No decision by the umpire in terms of a free kick. It's a ball up.
Red alert here, so watch for the surging Geelong mids. They hit into the corridor.
Matthew Nicks riding every bump. Nervous as Dangerfield comes away. They go deep again. Big shove from Hawkins was effective. We watch, we wait, he misses.
And he's furious with himself.
So you can stay live. All right, stand now, Tom, play
Seedsman sending it back Adelaide's way. Every kick precious now. Sloane willing himself to the contest. Dangerfield finding a way to get to his feet. 3 minutes 42 remaining. Who's going to find a way here?
Adelaide still holding 6 forwards in front of the ball here. So a lot of space around the stoppage. And one-on-ones in front of the ball for Geelong.
Who's got the want and the will and the way? Is it this man, Rory Sloane? Testing the Geelong defence, O'Connor.
Well, that's the one thing you can't afford. Intercept marks as a Crow, and
Desperate
now they come.
To get back through the middle, he almost got into a muddle, but he finds there's a loose man on the wing, not spotted by Constable. Back through the middle instead. Myers knows where to go. It was to Dangerfield. It got to Smith. He tried to bound through, got something on it. Mayhem at half forward. Bodies going down. Tackles. Wow. Was it high?
I'm not sure that was high. He might have got lucky. Needs to take his time.
Jace is talking about that mark in the forward line. That's why Adelaide would be keeping 6 forwards to try and keep the aerial power there, to try and not let Geelong rebound off that half-back flank.
Yeah, and what they can't afford, intercept marks kill them. Absolutely kill them.
10-1 the free kicks of this last quarter, Adelaide's way. 2 minutes 44 remaining. Brodie Smith up to the wing. Frampton flies. O'Brien.
Massive grab. Massive grab.
Because now you get to reset the field. So all of those players that were at the contest.
Stewart, Walker, Rowe, ducks into the tackle. And the umpire.
Oh, he might have got away with one there.
He was in no hurry to let the ball get out.
When you elect to duck into the tackle, that's your prior opportunity.
2 minutes 15.
Oh, that's a dangerous tap.
Can they capitalise? It's a desperate handball. It's Adelaide's way. And it's across the face from Paul Seedsman.
So still 2 kicks.
Yep.
So you got beaten out the back last time here if you were Adelaide. Now you've got to learn from that situation.
You've got to give yourself defensive breathing space, haven't you?
Cats go wide. They go to Dangerfield. But he can't find a way.
So they've got to make sure they have the deepest player, the Adelaide Crows, because the last 2 or 3 times Geelong surged forward.
Do you send one back now, boys?
I would be sending one back, absolutely.
A minute 48.
I'd be sending a couple back.
Keys. That's so critical, that ground. Kolodjasny, a hand pass. Dangerfield didn't wait to look, just slapped it on the boot. And Adelaide find a way again. Hamill, 90 seconds to go. Berry in his first game with the other debutant Rowe. He's got it to Billy again. They're just about home.
Take the time off the clock. Now, as long as he scores, you'd think a point means you don't get beat.
Geelong
a goal wins, yes. Can still be a tie if he misses. A draw.
Oh, when we came here today, not many thought that Adelaide were a chance. There's under a minute to go. They lead by 11. As they say in the classics, any score will do. Oh. It's a behind only.
Kicks to win the game. They're hard. They're hard.
There's only one way home for the Cats. That's ram it down the guts. Kick it to Dangerfield. Get it off to anyone going past. Higgins through the middle. Parfitt, Henderson, Parfitt. It's not over yet. It might be now. No, it's not. He's grasped it.
Dragged it in.
All day he's defied Tom Hawkins. McPherson, Myers, still there a chance. This game's going to the bitter end. If Guthrie can find a teammate. More seconds go down. They're going to hang on, the Adelaide Crows. They are going to hang on for one of the sweetest victories. The most unexpected victories are the best. Stand up like Matthew Nicks and roar like you never have before. As famous as they come for this Adelaide Crows, a round 1 shock.
Unbelievable.
until round 14 for their first win of last season. No waiting around this year. They are on the board, and what a way to do it, upsetting last year's grand finalists in front of Crows fans at Adelaide Oval. Brad Johnson, Jordan Lewis, what have we just witnessed?
Wow, Jordan and I sat here, we said at the same time, we've both got goosebumps. That is enormous. Round one, Jordan, we've already got the Goosies, and what a win by the Adelaide Crows.
It felt like it was finals-like. I mean, you could not take your eyes off the TV. It was so enthralling. I'm just glad they held on because they did enough to win the game. It was tight late in that game, but certainly the Adelaide Football Club, Tex Walker, Roy Sloane, those types of players showed a bit today, but mainly the young kids. The young kids were great to watch.
They were on the back of so many injuries throughout the game as well.
And what about Eddie Betts upstairs? He said, well, they'll be talking about the premiership now in 2021.
Great scenes.
And now they get to get in together and sing the song after what will be for Adelaide a famous 12-point win.
This will be loud, this song.
First game, first win. What's the feeling like right now?
Nah, it's a pretty good feeling. All the boys were pretty happy in there, but it's only a start, but we're just proud that we showed the members and the fans the brand of footy we want to play all year, but it's only a start, so we've got to just keep going.
What's it feeling like out there in front of 40-odd thousand fans, cheering, going nuts?
Yeah, I've never really felt anything like that. I've never walked off to a standing ovation at quarter time, but sent shivers down me the whole time, and yeah, it's pretty easy to get inspired when you got 40,000 people behind you, so it's just a very special feeling, hard to explain.
Family and friends here as well, got right around you. What was that like, having their support?
Oh yeah, it was pretty hard to get tickets, but I got as many as I could, and it's pretty special having all the people behind me supporting me, my friends and family, and I'm sure they're happy somewhere having a few frothies, so it was good.
Talk us through that first goal, just got the ball, open play, snagged it, sort of a good goal, and then the celebration.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I took a bounce. I never take a bounce, and then put it through, and then probably a bit too much carry on. But it's a dream come true kicking your first goal at Adelaide Oval. So all the boys that are around me, so it was pretty special.
What was it like playing alongside Tex in that sort of form, just clunking, kicking goals, doing everything?
Oh, you remind me of the good old days, me watching Tex. I've been a Crows fan my whole life, so it was pretty special being the one playing, kicking it to him a couple of times, but he's been outstanding this pre-season. He's helped all the younger boys, and he ended up kicking 5, so it was pretty special watching him put on a show, and I'm sure the fans loved it.
And can you enjoy yourself tonight and have a couple of beers with family and mates, or is it sort of preparing for Sydney next week?
Well, I think a couple of beers won't hurt with my friend and family, but obviously got to stay level-headed and prepare for Sydney next week, because it's only round 1 and who knows, anything's possible now, but we've just got to stay level-headed, so it's very exciting.
Congratulations, mate. Enjoy the night.
Thank you.
Bez, what's it feeling like right now? Debut, win, must be ecstatic.
Yeah, honestly, couldn't have gone better. Any win like that on a debut is just absolutely unreal. So yeah, it was a pretty surreal feeling being out there, but absolutely loved it.
What was the message from Nixie after the game? Brought all the boys into the locker room. What would he say? It
was pretty much just a belief. Like, we've showed that we can do it now. So now it's just moving forward to continue doing that and keep playing this game style.
Boys got off to an electric start. What was the secret or propeller behind that?
A lot of it was probably the crowd. They were just absolutely unreal. It was, biggest crowd I've played in, so it definitely gives you the upper edge. But yeah, I think we just brought the heat, which is what we intended to do. So yeah, I think that really showed us how to do it.
Spoke to you yesterday. You said you hadn't played in front of a big crowd before. What was the noise like? Can you describe it?
Yeah, it was almost deafening. But yeah, like the fact that the support was all for us, it was just absolutely unbelievable.
And what was it like lining up in the midfield alongside guys like Sloaney, Lairdy, and then standing guys like Joel Selwood, Patrick Dangerfield and the type? What was that like for you? I've got a photo that your mum sent through of you and Selwood when you were a bit younger. Was it a bit surreal sort of seeing those guys?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, growing up watching them on TV, they're absolute superstars. So playing with them and against them was, again, just a surreal feeling. It's all just been, a pretty mind-blowing experience, but absolutely loved it.
Guernsey presentation by Tony Modra, that must have been pretty special as well for you.
Yeah, absolutely. To get a legend of the club kind of present me my jumper was, also just another whirlwind. It was unbelievable.
So where to from here, mate? You've got family and friends here. Can you enjoy the night, spend some time with them and look forward to next week?
Yeah, that's the plan. A lot of mates and friends and family have made the trek over from Melbourne and Maffra, so hopefully catch up with them after the game tonight and see them tomorrow. So really looking forward to that.
Congrats, mate, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
No, we're always building, building to what we'd like the brand to look like, and I think we saw it tonight. We saw it for 4 quarters, which was really pleasing. Even with a few down, we had a few soldiers down early. For the boys to hang on and grit it out, I thought their intensity was the best I've seen. And against a really high quality opposition, we knew it was going to be a challenge. We knew they'd come. So to hold on and grit it out, I couldn't be more proud of the group.
So what are the key elements for you that stood out this time that hadn't been there before?
Well, we started well, and that was just intensity. That was our ferocity at the contest. And that's what we've been building to. That's our goal, is to consistently perform like that, have our members and supporters leave the ground feeling like they've been rewarded for coming to watch a game of footy, excited about it, talking in the car. To have our members and supporters there today was a boost, I have no doubt. The stadium was loud. It adds an edge. It was so good to have them back. But the brand of footy starts with the contest. We talk about seeking the contest out. We went at Geelong, and with that you take risks, you get aggressive, and I thought our guys were outstanding in that area.
You told Tex Walker not to give up his spot to an 18-year-old. How long is he going to hold it if he keeps playing like that?
Another week.
Surely.
Look, for Tex, it's his legacy at this footy club is going to be huge. What he's doing now is he's making these players better around him. And part of that is playing at a level and training at a level like he did throughout the off-season. So he deserves everything that he got today. And that's off the back of hard work, working with our younger guys to improve. It's making him a better footballer. It's incredible how prioritising others can help.
How difficult
will prolong his career, make him better, some of the new rules, and also the longer quarters as well? It's a bit open now what it was previously.
Possibly. Maybe the man on the mark rule is opening the game up slightly and allowing a little bit more ball use, hitting short lead-ups, and Tex's weapon is his ability to, challenge his opponent on leading up at the footy. So maybe. In saying that, what will help prolong Tex's career is a team that plays around him the way they did today. And he's the beneficiary of some really good footy, but he's also part of the reason why we're playing some really good footy.
How difficult was it to manage that bench? And when you don't have a concussion sub when you need one, is the argument going to be we now need 2 concussion subs or medical subs?
We could have gone with 3 today.
So is that argument going to really rank up now?
It's part of the game, I guess, too, is the physicality of our game is the challenge. It's part of it. Our guys do so much work in the break on strength and conditioning and being right to go. There's a bit of luck involved in that as well. And today we didn't have a lot of luck. We had to change the way we played in that second half to try and hold on, because we knew there'd be times where we were fatigued with a couple of less rotations or players to rotate. And I thought we did that really well. Our high-performance guys were spot on. We finished right on the button, I believe, with the rotations and sort of managed the game, the entire way through.
So where's the argument go about perhaps, like some coaches suggested, they want 2 subs?
I don't know, Rich. I don't know, to be honest. there's so much conjecture around it all. We're trying to do the right thing. The AFL are trying to do the right thing. We're trying to look after our players. I mean, first and foremost, when you see a player go down, it's the health of your mate. And then it comes back to, well, how do I then help the rest of the, my boys that are out there? Because 120 minutes of work when you got to stay out there the entire time. It's a challenge, and they have to back that up week after week. But I mean, first and foremost, health of the individuals, and we've got Bulls. He's moving around the room, so that's Jake Kelly. We hope he'll recover well. So I'm not sure where we're going to go with the subs, to be honest, though, Reg.
I'll just ask about the debutants, Matthew. I mean, Berry didn't get a heck of a lot of the footy, but 5 tackles in the first quarter, and Rowe obviously played his role pretty well. You must be rapt that those two slotted in and looked the part. Yeah, really, really pleased for both of those guys. And we also had a first game of playing in the Crows jumper in Hinge, and Hingey came in, popped his shoulder out, I think 3 or 4 times during the game, and held on, and didn't give up. Just stuck it out because he knew we needed him. But Sam Berry, hopefully we got a glimpse of what he's going to bring, to this footy club. He's hard. He really enjoys the contest, and he added another dynamic inside stoppage for us. And Jimmy Rowe, he's an excitement machine. So we knew what he could do at a slightly slower level, a slightly less speed on the game level, but he showed today that he's going to continue to get better and better. And he's still, very early on in his career as a younger player.
Outside the club, to be honest, no one saw it coming. What were your feelings going into the game, though? Could you sense that was going to happen? Or, obviously you'll say yes, but could you really sense you're on?
Ultimately, we're working to build a brand of footy. That's what we're trying to do. What comes with that when you're starting that out is inconsistency. So as a coach, I feel coming into every game, as every one of our players does, that we can win the game of footy. It'd be a worry if you didn't think that. But there's also a reality of the consistency of what a younger team will do against an older team. It's just the statistics will say that's how it is. I was really confident today that we had the game that we could take it up to Geelong. It was a matter of whether we could implement that for 4 quarters, and I felt like we did. In fact, we even changed our game, due to some injury. So now the key now is 7 days' time. We have another challenge, and we've got to be able to do it again. But we will also we'll enjoy this, as I hope our members and our supporters will really enjoy this and say, well, there it is. That's the brand of footy that they may have been talking about 6 months ago. Now it's consistency. Show it again next week.
Changing at 3/4 time, how much was that a necessity to slow the game down so that you weren't caught in a foot race with Geelong?
Yeah, mainly having 2 down was the reason we went a little slower with the footy. We felt like we started the last. We thought the first 5 or 10 minutes were really important. Obviously they were, but we went hard. We decided to go at them, and then we knew we'd run out of tickets at some point playing that way, and so we just tried to tweak it. Wasn't perfect, but it never is. It was, but to grit it out, to hold on when they were coming for us, and they were taking some chances as well. It was really pleasing.
You spoke the other week about your tougher selection decisions were ahead of the ball, and it looked like you actually went a little bit smaller up there. Were you? Is that how you wanted it to look when you made those decisions to leave Fogarty and Himmelberg out of the side?
Yeah, look, it's a tough area for us at the moment to try and get that balance right. I thought we had, 6 or 7 of the guys that went through that forward line, and we also have times where there's others, but I thought they played outstandingly well. And not just from an offence point, I thought they were great when the ball was in transition. And Geelong were a very, very good side that can really own a game on you and move the ball around. We came in with a number of things we were looking to do, and our forwards were outstanding in that. And that part of that was the dynamic we had down there, talls and smalls, no doubt. That may change week to week depending on who we're playing, depending on what the opposition want to do to us. So we'd never write off going a little bit taller than that, in coming weeks. But I thought I thought this week we got it right.
Just bang.
How would you describe the significance of the win, Matthew? I mean, injured players, from where you've come, the opposition. How would you sum up the sort of significance? I mean, not just to the playing group, but to the whole club, because you've sold a bit of hope now to your fans, haven't you?
Yeah, we have a bit of belief, maybe, in what we're trying to do. I don't think hope's the right word. It's belief. Yep. Yeah, we're heading in. We've still got a lot of work to do. We've still got so much more improvement in us. And it's just we've got to be really careful that it's not. We've won round one, great start for us, and it's going to give our players belief, our staff belief, our supporters and our members belief, and that's great. Now we need to do it again. So that's going to be the key from here. We'll start preparing for 7 days' time.
What's it like to feel the energy of a near full crowd stadium again after what we went through last year?
Yeah, well, I haven't felt it at this stadium, other than coming in at another club and watching it. Oh, it was incredible to have and you noticed it even more because of the year we've had away. The support from over the fence, the noise that's in the stadium, there's no doubt it motivates players. There's no doubt. Probably both teams. I think you see a higher level of footy. There's more intensity in the contest, and I think that drove us today. There's no doubt being at home and having our supporters there was a bonus for us.
I'll just tick off on the injured players. Obviously, Kelly, concussion. Brown, what's the initial prognosis on him?
Well, yeah, so Brownie's got a soreness through the Achilles, which he just couldn't go, and so we had to make that decision. And then it was about a minute later we lost Ball, unfortunately, and Ball's concussion. So we'll work with those two. We'll have a good look at them from here. Obviously, Ball's now 12 days. That's the concussion rule. And I think it was, for him, he's in there now. He's in amongst the group, so that's a really good sign for us.
And there was also Hinge, obviously, had his shoulder out. McAdam looked to have a bit of trouble with her knee as well. Yeah.
And we'll assess those. It's pretty early at the moment for those guys, but McAdam was an ankle, just rolled an ankle. And Hinge, as I said, popped the shoulder out a few times, and that's something that happened a couple of weeks ago for Hingy. So we'll have to assess that during the week.
Just back to Tex for a second. That was obviously the culmination of a pre-season where he's been your best forward. I think you said it a few weeks ago. What is the difference between where he's at now compared to where he was last year, when perhaps he wasn't moving as well and didn't seem to be the same sort of player that he was today this pre-season?
If I'm being honest, the difference is not Tex. Tex was in the same position last year, had worked super hard, had trained the house down. Tex has made his teammates better. And so now his teammates give him better delivery, they bring the ball in more often, and he's a competitor. So I think it's an even better sign for him, the fact that he's worked with a lot of these guys and showed them the standard over the break and said, this is the level you train at. Now, you're coming with us or you're not coming with us. And it's documented that over the break we trained and we went really hard. We trained as a group at times that we wouldn't have seen in the past because of border closures, and Tex was part of that. So his teammates getting better. I just picture them delivering him the ball when needed, but he also competes. We know that.
And just on Rowe once more, it feels like if there's going to be a player for you this year that feeds off the energy of the crowd and the crowd feeds off his energy, it's going to be him, because every time he kicks a goal, he certainly loves to celebrate.
Yeah, when we were a few down on the bench, we were questioning whether he was wasting too much energy celebrating, but you never ever stop a player enjoying footy. And we came in with that mindset today to enjoy it. So I love watching him play footy. I love the way he celebrates. I love his passion. Consistency now. Put your head down, Rowie, and go to work.